Howdy, howdy, my fellow gamers, and welcome to episode 3 of the Roundtable Oddcast, which is actually episode 2, because we are going to launch this one before episode 3 that we already recorded with Wolf, just because of editing, it's easier, and also we're going to talk Christmas and New Year's resolutions. So, yes, the episode numbers are going to be switched backwards. I apologize for that, and after that, I don't know, we'll keep it in the air. But my name is Freak, as always, joined by my good buddy and co-host, Doom. Say hi,
What's
bitch.
up?
Yeah. And today, everybody else died. Chrono's still dead from last week, so we had a nice ceremony there. We said some Australian words like shrimp on the Barbie and thongs, which are actually their flip-flops, and put him in the dirt. And now Wolf is dead, too. So,
There was a nice funeral pyre for him. We gave him the Viking burial, lit him on fire, set him off to sea.
And then we played Amazing Grace on bagpipes. And
well, he did. I just,
Yeah. There went Wolf. Fire. So the only gamers of the roundtable left now are Doom and Freak, and so we allow us to entertain you for anywhere from 60 minutes to 69 minutes.
No more, no less.
Probably less. Probably a lot less. Let's not oversell ourselves there, Doom.
5 minutes tops.
But the reason that we're going to launch this one early, because it's not even going to come out on a Friday or Saturday like usual. It's going to come out Tuesday night for New Year's Eve. Kick off the New Year's with your favorite roundtable. So how was everybody's Christmas? Doom, what did you get? What did you want? What did you not get that you wanted and Laura dropped the ball on? And then what did you get that was, okay.
So, let me start off by saying, I wanted a lot of things, and I'm not the type of person that, asks for anything for Christmas. I don't even really like Christmas that much. I do it for other people. I wanted a fucking PC, and I didn't get that shit. It is what it is. People that know me know I'm working on some things, but wanted some more tattoos. Didn't get that shit. So
which we will delve into later in this episode.
Which that was kind of like the main thing. I knew I wasn't gonna get either one of those, but I actually got some really cool stuff. Very appreciative of what I got. Got some new band merch, which I haven't gotten new band merch in God knows how long. I got a awesome Shadow of Intent hoodie, which fucking awesome. Aversion's Crown t-shirt. Actually, I almost wore a shirt. She got me one of the best t-shirts I've ever got. And you'll appreciate this because you love Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I got the Mac Riot t-shirt.
Yes.
So she got that, and that's always been our ongoing thing that I'm going from chubby, bulky Mac to being at the gym Mac, because I used to go to the gym all the time before I got injured. So she got me the Riot shirt. Another thing she got me, and this is right here next to me, because if anyone that knows me as well, I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z fan. I love all the Dragon Ball Z stuff, Dragon Ball, all that. You name it, I love it. And also, I consider myself the one that got freak into pop vinyls. I consider myself that. Maybe a little column A, little column B with that.
I was about to say, I'd give that to Abby, but...
Well... I definitely got you on the rare hunt. I know that. The
yes,
grails.
100%. Yeah, that's all you. With the chase and everything.
So she got me a Majin Buu that's chocolate. Because if anyone knows Dragon Ball Z, Majin Buu loves chocolate. So this is one that I've wanted for a long time. So she got that for me. So that was awesome.
So what is the rarity of that one? Because I didn't see a chase sticker on it or a FYE exclusive sticker on that. Is that just a spin-off or is that...
It's a variant. I'll just be honest with you. I don't even know the rarity. I'll put it this way. I've never seen this one in a store.
Okay.
I've only seen it online. And it's always in weird, it's in stock, it's out of stock. So I don't know the full rarity. I haven't even put it in my Funko app yet to see where it ranks.
Oh, I need to redo that.
But, yeah, I'm in the same boat. I probably bought a 20 that I shouldn't have, and I got another chase. Oh, I got the Broly chase.
Nice. Just between the mystery box unboxing for Christmas that we did and the other shit that they sent me, I haven't updated that. I keep buying them when I shouldn't. I think I keyed in maybe 100 of my pops out of 300 plus.
Yeah.
So, but what else did you get? Keep going. I noticed a new headset. Your audio sounds so much better.
New cracker. Cracker? What?
Wow. Okay, and the Gamers of the Roundtable gets banned for racist slurs.
New Kraken, Razor Kraken. I almost got the pink ones, but green, love the lime green. And that's really, a lot of the stuff that I got. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. The only thing that I did get Laura, which is my girlfriend, we got Jets jerseys, which I'm a diehard New York Jets fan, and I've been telling her for years that I was going to buy us New York Jets jerseys, but I have a stigma about buying jerseys because every time I get the player who I like or the player I want, they either go in free agency, get injured. It's almost like a never fail situation for me. Well, I bit the bullet this year. I bought the brand new black Jets uniforms for her and I. I got her Sam Darnold. I got me
you went
Jamal
with black,
Adams.
not the
Yeah.
standard greens?
No, because we both, our color wheel kind of like lives and dies in black, and there's a little bit of green in it. So
she's got Sam
I got the black
Darnold.
ones. Yeah, and I got Jamal Adams, who is our only Pro Bowl player this year. So
Okay.
I'll take it.
They already announced the Pro Bowl players, or are they still casting roster?
No, it's over with. The voting's closed.
I haven't even looked for who from Denver made it.
I honestly, I only saw the one from the Jets. I didn't even think to look at Denver. So
If I had to guess, I'd say we probably sent Von Miller again, and then we probably sent Cortland Sutton or maybe Philip Lindsay. I can look it up after this.
I think Harris, your cornerback Harris.
Chris Harris Jr.?
Yeah.
Dude, he's good.
Yeah, he's actually one of the best corners in the league. But let's not get too off topic on the football stuff, because I can go on and on for days with that.
Yeah, we always can. I have a Denver jersey too. We should kind of orchestrate that for maybe do like a Super Bowl episode of the podcast.
Oh, dude, I'd be down for that.
I could wear my Von Miller jersey. You can wear your jersey. Maybe try to, I don't know, a watch party or something. Maybe not necessarily a podcast, but I want to figure something out for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, if I'm not working, dude, I'm totally down for that.
Yeah, regardless of who goes, because you got to watch it. Last year's Super Bowl was super boring. But did you get anything else worth mentioning, or?
I'm sure I did. My parents got me some new shirts, all that kind of stuff, Jets shirts as well. It was very sports heavy Christmas.
They're really wishing you well. They're like, this poor fucker is just a Jets fan. If we get him enough Jets merch, they'll start winning games.
Well, also I got a new Alabama Crimson Tide hoodie as well.
And college.
But hey, no, I mean, I actually really appreciate it. It's actually it's got like digital camo, which you know as well. If I'm not in fucking jeans, I'm in camo shorts because I'm a fucking idiot. But so yeah.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was a good Christmas. I think actually the best thing I got or did for Christmas this year was Laura's nephew Sam. He's 3 years old, and I love kids. I just love kids I can give back at the end of the day. So I love him to death. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want kids, but I love kids in general. I don't want like my
You're
own.
Gonna be a dad.
Someone else's kid. You shut the hell up.
You're gonna be a dad, Doom.
So, needless to say, I was talking to Laura, and it was probably like 2 or 3 days before we had to do our Christmas thing with her side of the family, which was going to be on Christmas Eve. And I told her, it's like, hey, do you think Sam's parents would be okay with me getting Sam a Hot Wheels track? She's like, hey, I don't see why not. And so I asked them first because, the motorized Hot Wheels tracks get loud, cars go fucking flying, black eyes happen, shit.
Childhood endures.
Yeah, well, So I made it a point. I was like, okay, if you guys give me the go-ahead, I'm buying him like a crisscross crash or whatever. I'm buying him a motorized one. Cars go around, do loops and jumps. He's getting one, and he's getting a bunch of cars to go with it. I bought him one that, like I said, had the loop, had some jumps in it. I almost bought him one where the track goes all the way up the wall and it shoots the cars back down.
That would have been so cool.
It would have, but I thought of the parents on that one. I was like, yeah, I don't think he needs to be putting holes in the drywall with Hot Wheels just going poof, poof, So I got him a whole like big thing of cars. I got him the track, and I got him. He's 3 and loves Star Wars, and his favorite is Darth Vader. So I appreciate the kid that much more. So I got him they got the Darth Vader Hot Wheels car. So I got him all that, and the best thing was he probably opened my gift probably like 3rd or 4th. He didn't want to open any other fucking gifts. He made us like put the thing together right then and there, and he would not like get away. He's like, hey, we gotta do some pictures. He's like, no! Shoot another car. Shoot another car. So to me, that was the best part of Christmas, is watching his face light up and play with the toys.
That's awesome.
I got
that's fucking. So since you guys had to put it together, I haven't played with a Hot Wheel set in 15 years. Is it still just the fucking rubber pieces that you lock in and shit? Or have they streamlined it and made it fancier now?
It's still the quick connects and all that kind of stuff, but I think the tracks got shittier as we've gotten older. Like some of them were just like way off, and I was like, man, this is ridiculous.
No, that sounds about right. That's what I remember.
Oh, see, not to me. Well, then again, my dad was like super duper, like, no, it's gonna be correct, and he would like tape it up, glue it together, make sure.
Oh yeah, that'd be why my shit was always crooked and half bent, and that's why a car would never make it around. It would always flop over, and you'd. So
yeah, my old man was like, no, we're gonna make sure we do this right. No car is gonna come off this track.
That sounds like you gave him an awesome Christmas. I had to do uncle shit. I had to actually be an adult for Christmas because I flew down to Florida to visit my parents. I stayed with them for 5 days, and my sister lives 5 minutes away, and my little niece, obviously, who's a terror. Which I'm really happy I saw because like I was wanting kids and I was sad I wasn't gonna have kids, and then I saw her and I was like, God, fuck, I don't want any kids because this child is a crackhead. Don't get me wrong, she's my niece, I love her, she's cute, she's sweet when she wants to be, but I've dealt with a lot of younger children, my cousins who I taught how to ride bikes and everything. This child is like on a 14 out of 7. It's crazy. But so I'm on vacation. My intent this whole trip is just relax. I'm not expecting any gifts because my gift from my parents was the plane tickets down. And generally every year they'll send us like a card with like $50 in it. So I was just like, all right, well, I know the plane tickets cost way more than that. So I'm just lounging. I'm doing day drinking, fucking doing nothing, and it's nice. And my sister comes barreling in the door on Christmas Eve at like 2 o'clock. She's like, get up. We gotta go. And I'm like, why? She's like, we gotta do Christmas. I was like, you have to do Christmas. I didn't get anybody anything because I'm broke, and I don't know what you want from me. And she's like, no, you gotta come help me set up for Mackenzie. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm on duty for vacation, not uncle duties. Did you ever, as a child, have one of those motorized cars that you could drive around in?
Yeah, I had one. Yeah.
I had to build that shit.
Wait, you mean to tell me Santa Claus didn't assemble that shit ahead of time?
No, not at all.
That fat bastard.
Yeah, she gets me over that. She got a trampoline set and everything, and she's like, damn, I'm not gonna have time to build both these. And I was like, I can figure out the car. And so I had to build the whole car, which the instructions they send you are not very good instructions. No, I was like... She just turns around all of a sudden because I pulled out the power drill and just, and she goes, what are you doing? I said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. No, just don't worry about it. It's going to look like the picture. It might not be where it's supposed to go, but it's going to look like the picture. And then we had to go in and attach all the connectors and everything. And they've become so much fancier because when I was a kid, you just have a pedal and a fucking, start and go and everything. This bitch has a Bluetooth player in there that she can hook up to and listen to legitimate music as she drives around.
Whoa, dude, we grew up in the wrong generation.
Right? No, it was like a $400 little mini Jeep because my sister, her mom, drives a Jeep. And, yeah, no. My niece is 5. 4, 5. One of those numbers. And,
Uncle of the year.
Yeah. She got, I want to say, an easy 25 presents. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you bought way too much shit for this girl because she's not going to remember 95% of this. She'll remember the Jeep because I remember that stuff from when I was a kid, but like all the Frozen stuff that she just got, it'll be done in a month because Frozen 2 just came out and she loves it. But so yeah, I had to do uncle stuff, and then I had to do the uncle thing where you talk to your niece and like play little games with her. And so I showed her the best Christmas movie of all time, and I said, sit down, you're gonna watch Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with, what's it called? Die Hard.
I brought Die Hard. My dad doesn't have a DVD player in his house.
What?
He used to be a really big gamer. He has a PS3. He's sunk. I'm talking like, I have 972 hours in Dark Souls, and I think that's impressive. I just mentioned one of my friends put 740 hours in Witcher. That's impressive. My dad has got an easy like 6,000 hours in Skyrim. Like, that's all he played nonstop.
Hold on.
4 years.
Excuse me? Baking soda?
Yeah, no, what? Like, everything that you can imagine he's done. He's exploited all the glitches because he could. He's done every side quest. And, like, he had an issue, like, 3 times where a quest would glitch out and he'd just delete his character, create a new one, start again. He is 100% at every guild. He is maxed out every stat to 100. He got all the DLCs. He's completely obliterated that game. And I love it because I got Skyrim for him. I'm going to veer off track real quick. Because, so Skyrim came out. This is right after I had gotten Skyrim came out after I had gotten a job, so I had money to spend. And I got the Alduin statue and, like, the collector's edition. I went to the midnight launch. And my dad loved Oblivion. Played the shit out of Oblivion. Put, like, 4,000 hours into Oblivion. And he was just mad that he couldn't get Skyrim because he was a responsible adult. He wasn't going to spend $60 the day it came out. He's got 5 kids, you know, other shit to take care of. So I was like, I'm going to go to the midnight launch, and I'm going to fucking pick up a PS3 copy of Skyrim, but I'm going to be a dick about it. So I'm like, all right, Dad, I'm going to the midnight launch. Bye, love you. Sorry that you can't get this game. You suck. And I go, and in GameStop, I unpack the entire collector's edition box, and I put his PS3 copy at the bottom. Because my plan is to go home and tantalizingly just show him, look at this cool statue that you can't have. Look at this awesome art that isn't yours. Oh, and there's a PS3 copy. Here you go. And he was asleep. He was asleep when I got home. So I had to unpack the whole shit and just go in there and kind of like put it in his hand. And he cuddled it for like a minute and then wakes up screaming, oh my god! And then 6,000 hours later, here we are at Skyrim. But now his PS3's in a closet. His controller broke. He doesn't want to go buy a new one because he doesn't play anything else. I'm like, what about Skyrim? And he goes, that game is nothing to me anymore. I was like, damn.
Really? I didn't realize your dad was that big of a gamer. Like, I know we talked about it, but I didn't realize it was that, you know.
Like, my first game consoles were because of my dad, and he used to do, like, PC games, too. Like, the old-fashioned, you know, not Modern Warfare, Medal of Honors.
Fair.
Yeah. But, now he just plays on his iPad. He does a whole lot of mobile gaming, and it drives me crazy. I'm like, Dad, real man gaming, okay?
Which, you know, it's funny you mentioned that, because, Laura's, parents, or let me phrase that, her dad, he's very old school, manly man, ex-military. He's a good dude. Just to be 100% honest, he's a good dude. But I'm not gonna say he looks down, but he doesn't understand gaming, like how I like to play it, or how you like to play it, how we like to play it. But he'll sit for hours on his iPad playing games. Yep. And I kind of look at him, and I didn't really mention it, but I have a plan to mention it. I just, you know, like, you do know what you're doing is kind of what I'm doing, just different, right?
Yeah. But, and I mean, mobile gaming's come a long way, but I'm just like, nah. Give me a controller and, like, legit real games. But, so yeah, like, I brought down to Florida, I brought down Die Hard and Die Hard 2. I brought down the Lord of the Rings trilogy because I was like, we're going to watch some fucking movies, and there's not a DVD player in the house because they have 2 smart TVs. So they're just, you know, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, which was real convenient for me because I was still able to watch a whole bunch of shit. Yeah. But, so Christmas Day rolls around and, they got me presents, which blew my mind because I was like, you guys just bought me these plane tickets and everything. But, best present I received was, we just lost my dog Sammy earlier this year. We had to put her down. And the last time I was down in Florida, we took a picture with her where I was saying goodbye to her and the dog did not want me to leave. So she's just flopped over in my lap and we're cuddling and playing. So they got that picture for me framed, and then they put some of her ashes in this vial that I get to wear close to my heart. And that was the gift that meant the most to me. I cried. I did a lot of crying.
I remember talking to you about that.
Yeah. And then, because my dad knows that I'm going through a really rough time, and so he went, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to read it because it's probably going to be reversed. But he got a custom guitar pick made, and it said I couldn't pick a better son.
Oh.
I know, it was real cheesy, but I loved it. They got me a reversible beanie, which is Spider, which is a great ski brand that we used to use all the time out in Colorado. So I was excited about that. They still gave me a card with $50 in it. I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? But they made Christmas pretty good. And then I came home and had a little Christmas for myself. I was like, you know what? I deserve a little bit of a reward, so I bought a Mega Deadpool, which I'm trying to figure out if I want to leave him in the box or if I want to, like, bring him out and have him sit, like, right here.
I kind of, you got to find, like, an oversized chimichanga form or something.
Right.
You got to find, like, a giant taco
new tattoo,
or
new flannel, and then a little bit of a responsible adult, and I bought a bookshelf. so I can start unpacking more shit. And yeah, that was my Christmas. Wasn't bad. Wasn't great. It was great to see my family, but Florida sucks.
Is it still hot and muggy down there?
Oh, dude, like, so my flight was delayed 5 hours on Monday. It was ridiculous because it wasn't like, hey, you're supposed to board at this time. It's been delayed 5 hours. They're like, your flight's been delayed by an hour and a half. So I still arrive early as shit, and then they're like, your flight's been delayed an additional 45 minutes. Well, fuck it, I'm here. It's not like I can go anywhere. Your flight's been delayed. What the fuck? So just
was it all the rain or?
Yeah, no, it was so just misty and muggy and impossible to see anything, both here and in Orlando where I was landing. So they finally announced at like 4:00. They're like, ladies and gentlemen, due from Asheville to Sanford, Orlando, and I'm like, yes, and they're like, your flight has just now departed from Orlando and is en route. I was like, fuck! So then we sat there, and my parents booked to Orlando. They live in Tampa, just because it was like $150 cheaper than landing directly in Tampa. And Orlando's really only about an hour away. It was a 3.5 hour drive to get home.
All the traffic?
At like 9:45 at night, there's still just traffic nonstop on I-4, accidents everywhere, dumbasses, tolls, and everything. Same thing going back to the airport. We left at like 11:30. So we're like, all right, people are going to be at work. It's not quite time for lunch breaks yet. It's a Friday. No, it took about 3.5 hours to get to the airport.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, the trip was rough. But like when I was flying out Monday, was dressed for Asheville weather. It was about 40 degrees when I was leaving. So I was in one of my flannels and jeans. And I get to Florida and I walk out of the terminal and I turn around and walk back in and I go, can I get back on the... Because it was so fucking muggy. It was so hot. It was 65, and I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm dying. I'll just change when I get home.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I miss the colder weather, but my body's acclimated to this heat down here in South Carolina. So
mine hasn't.
I'm just saying it's true what they say. Your blood does thin out. I mean, hell, like right now, when it gets cold here and when I go to work, 9 times out of 10 I'm in my work jacket and it does not come off even when I'm like busting my ass.
I never acclimated. I lived there for 12 years and I'm still just always fucking hot.
I don't know what to tell you on that one. Like I know for me up in Jersey, you get the bad, nor'easters. They come in, drop a fucking metric butt ton of snow, and then I'd be fucking walking out there, shorts, a jacket, a hat, and that's it. And be good to go. Like down here, like, oh, fuck this. Long pants, jacket, another fucking jacket. Fuck you. I don't want to be cold.
It was snowing right before we left Asheville, like the night before, and I was walking around in shorts. And I was like, this is nice. But, so with
people
Christmas...
are bred differently.
I guess. I mean, you also got to factor, like, I was born and bred and raised at mile-high altitude, so...
That's what I'm saying. You fuckers are different!
Yeah. With Christmas out of the way now, hopefully all you guys had a Merry Christmas and got some good shit. Does anybody have New Year's resolutions? I keep saying anybody as if there's 4 of us here, but Doom, do you have New Year's resolutions? Or chat that's not here, but, in the comments below, what's your New Year's resolution?
Or what'd you get for Christmas, for that matter? Like, what was your best gift? See, I don't normally do New Year's resolutions because I feel like if you do resolutions, you get kind of tunnel vision, to only focus on certain things. And my overall goal is just, every year is just to do better than where I am. So last year, me and Laura, my girlfriend bought this house that we're in now. That was, I don't want to say one of the goals, but it definitely... We were in this house before New Year's last year. So I consider that meeting my goals for my New Year's resolution. Last year, I was very active in the gym. I lost a shit ton of weight, made massive gains in the gym. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, I want to lose fucking 50 pounds out of my ass and all that kind of shit. I feel like if your New Year's resolution is that, and it's so tunnel vision, you may not reach those goals. I feel like if you just... I want to do better in my life. I want to make better choices, better judgments, all that kind of stuff. I think it's easier to do that as opposed to, focusing on this, and this. But that's me. But if I had to choose an overall, what's it called? New Year's resolution, uh, definitely want to get back in the gym. And of course, that was because I've been injured. I broke my leg in October. So that would be easy for me to get back into it. Make massive gains in the gym, get a PC, finish this whole arm, tattoo wise, and get your ass down here more often, and me to go up to you, go to more shows, go see some more metal shows, and that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I'm pretty easy like that. I don't, if I don't meet one or the other, I'm not gonna cry over spilt milk. Of course, there's a hierarchy in what I want.
Right.
Tattoos come first. Fuck your
PC should come first.
Tattoos are first. For me personally, the PC is the first goal. Just to help to be more of a contributor to the channel. Hell, the only time you ever see me is here on the what's it called?
Fallout 76 funny moments videos, sir.
Well, not just that, and then of course
and your shining moment on this channel, the pinnacle of success for Doom. And I'll leave a link down below, guys, if you haven't already seen it. It's up on the channel in 2 different ways. We're playing Rainbow Six Siege, and I teach him how to play as Tachanka. And it's so good. It's just crispy content. It's best gaming moment I've had this decade. It was so...
I don't know about that one. I can argue that one. Best gaming moment of this decade for us?
We've had a lot of good ones. Forza Horizon 2. Yeah. There's clips of that too. But yeah. Resolution wise, big one for me.
Stop breaking your fucking hands.
Stop having life shit on me, really. I was doing really well for about 6 months. From March to September, I was actively in the gym anywhere from 3 to 5 days a week, depending on my work schedule. I lost about 15 pounds and then kind of stayed where I was because I didn't really change my eating habits. I love carbs. I love pasta. I couldn't get rid of that. But I also started getting more tone and definition, so I was like, I'm okay with this. And then when we moved up here, the nearest gym that I was willing to go to, which is Planet Fitness, was an hour away. And I was like, I don't want to do that. There's a locally owned one here, but it's ridiculously priced. And then we have a Gold's, which I don't feel like paying for. I was going to cave and do it, and then I got the news that there is a Planet Fitness coming to Asheville soon. So definitely once that opens up, I plan on being back in the gym at least 2 to 3 times a week to start out, because I still only have half a hand really to use for weights and shit. But drop down, tone up, bigger arms for more tattoos. And I've been saying, when 2019 started, I said that 2020 was going to be the year of music, because buying music recording equipment and everything was going to be very expensive, and learning how to do it all. So finally, I can say 2020 is not here yet, and I got all the shit I need to get started. I've got a mixer, I've got an interface, I've got sound packs, I've got a DAW, I've got instruments, and I've got the talent. I just need to meld it all together. So
focus, damn it!
Yeah. Big thing for me going into 2020 is going to be just consistent content, both gaming wise, story time wise. I'd love to get more consistent, and I really want to focus on music. Like, I would like to have a fucking EP done by the end of next year.
I would like to be on that EP by the end of next year. And that is, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but that is one more thing I would like to add to my resolution, pertaining to the whole music thing. I was supposed to be joining a band this past couple weeks. I've been in the talks with another band. Didn't come to fruition. It is what it is. Shit happens. I'm a pretty avid vocalist. Active, I should say. Not avid, but active. I wanted to get back to playing music regularly again. Even if it's a 3-piece and I'm playing bass or whatever the case may be, I definitely want to get back on stage again. That was something that I had to give up for a while, just because conflicting schedules, all that kind of stuff. But I went to a few shows at the end of 2019, like right before I got hurt, and then right after I got hurt, which I wasn't really supposed to go to, but I did anyway because fuck you. Um, I went to go see a couple bands, and something sparked in me again. It was like, I'm fucking missing out on
so much.
Yeah, and I feel like, and I've never been like the type of like the cocky type. I'm a damn good vocalist, and I hear some of these other guys, and I'm just like, bruh, I got you. I don't even work my voice out like that anymore, and I got you. So that's one of my things is I definitely want to get back into working my voice out as well. So that's just another side thing. I would definitely want to get back to playing music actively again.
Music's just a really big one going in because, like, I still have videos of my old band playing on stage, and we were never that great, but we had good times, and I'm like, fuck, I missed that. I'm taking the vocal stuff more seriously and like practicing and watching exercises and methods for that. So I'd like to be able to do my own vocals on a track by the end of next year, and I really just want to fucking crank out some good sounding shit. But I want to do like a wide variety. Like I'd be totally fine with writing a song that's like indie sounding, like Pumped Up Kicks, and then the next song sounds like goddamn fucking It Is the End from Ice Nine Kills. So if somebody gets the EP, they're just gonna be like, "What the? I don't know if I like this," and I'll just be like, "I don't care." Variety.
See, and it's funny you mention that, and since we're on the whole music kick, it's funny you mention that because one of the albums of the year, not necessarily the decade for me, but one of the albums of the year is from a band called Issues. Beautiful Oblivion is their album. Nice, I saw that. And their album Beautiful Oblivion is like it. You all right over there? You gonna make it?
I had my phone in my fucking shirt pocket, so when I went down to pick up the beer, the phone dropped out. The beer was empty. I was just trying to put it in the trash can, which is full and overflowing with beer bottles, so I need to take that out.
Yeah.
And water bottles. I'm not an alcoholic.
But one of the albums for the year, not necessarily the decade, because it's still kind of too new for me to put it on the decade list, was Beautiful Oblivion, and I listened to it from front to back, and it's very just like you're saying, it's such a wide variety of music. You have the genty, heavier stuff, then you have like bubblegum pop in there. I was just like, bro, this album is fucking badass. And then I took my girlfriend to see it live. We got her VIP tickets for her birthday, which is right before Christmas. Which those dudes are awesome, may I add. Like all the dudes in Issues are straight up good dudes. And I'm talking like I know them personally, but I mean I've met them twice, and they're just cool dudes. They're down to earth. And this new album, I don't care what anyone says. You may say it's not for you or anything like that. You hear this album live, it is fucking spot on, and it is great music just to make love to, have a wedding to, mosh to, fuck to, you name it, you can do something to the album. And that's what makes it so awesome. It's so diverse. But sorry, I got off on a tangent there for one of my albums of the year.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna talk albums, because I already forgot what I was talking about. We were talking something music related, so
we were talking New Year's resolutions, and it just kind of dipped.
Well, I mean, when you said yours and I said mine, gym, music, content, and fixing my goddamn life. And yours is improving yours and getting a PC and gym, and so now we're into the music section, which is the best section, kind of. And sometimes
update my job situation, which hopefully that happens too.
Really, there's only 2 albums that I would say are probably contenders for album of the year for me. And one of them's brand fucking new. It's been out for 3 months only. But first one, you gave it a 5.5, was Trauma from I Prevail.
Mm-hmm.
But they started out right by giving their first single was Bow Down, because that's what we all wanted, was a fucking heavy hitting song from them.
Get on your knees and bow.
It's so good. It's such a fun song too. I'm learning how to play it. I got to do it by ear though, and watching other YouTube covers because there's no tabs. I loved the whole album just because I not to get all sad and depressed, but I've dealt with depression for like 10 years, and this year it's been a bumpy ride and a lot worse at times. And the whole album really is about their battles with depression, so I was able to relate to a lot of the songs, especially Breaking Down. And then, I mean, they still had some heavy hitting hard hits. Bow Down, like I said, Dead Weight was great. And then I liked their experimental sides, like DOA and bringing in like the electronic shit to it.
Yeah.
Was just so fun. I listened to that album nonstop for like 2 months before I took it out of my CD player. Because yes, I still have a CD player. Well, my 2009 car doesn't have an auxiliary port or Bluetooth. Like, I still have to buy physical CDs to listen to music in my car. And I love it. I'm like, let's go to Walmart and just see what they got. But the downside is, like, Best Buy's CD section is like this big, Target's is like this big, and Walmart's like this big. The vinyl sections, because it's the fucking 60s again, are just huge. Hundreds of vinyls.
Speaking of vinyls, just on a quick note, it's funny you mentioned vinyls because I want vinyls, but I don't need them because that's one of those things where I'll start collecting them like I collect my and I want to display them like I display my pops.
Yep.
There is no fucking way I can have both. And then, not to mention, I listen to such a large amount of music where I would like, oh yeah, I want this fucking album. Yep. Oh shit, I want that album. And it just goes on and on and on from there. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to be the adult here and say I'm not going to get involved in that because I want to say 2 vinyls in my entire life. I gave one away, which I regret to this day, and the other one broke. So I don't think I need it anymore. Just saying.
I wanted to get vinyls, and I still kind of do, because, and you'll find this pretty shocking, the place that I work at sells vinyls, but they're not all shitty vinyls. They're fucking selling Led Zeppelin vinyls in there. And I was like, oh, I would love to have Led Zeppelin on vinyl. But I don't own a phonograph, and my place sells that too. Yeah, we got everything.
That's interesting. I didn't know they actually sold them. That's also because they go in the store portion either.
Yep. The other album, circling back around, that I would put as my album of the year, which just got me into this band really heavily, and like I said, it came out in August, but it's Wage War, Pressure. Cause
okay, I can dig that.
It comes out swinging with Who I Am, which is a great song, and it's got Low on there, which, you know, depression and all that we were relating to, and it was a great entryway. And so I was like, all right, well, let me go listen to their older stuff, because Doom and I often get in arguments where I'll be like, have you heard this band's thing? I love their new album. And he's like, you fucking would. Their old stuff's good. Their new stuff sucks. Case in point, Motionless in White.
I'm back.
But I like their old stuff. I like their new stuff, and just their new album was really well done. So those would probably be my 2 albums of the year. Would be Trauma and Pressure.
If I had to go for just of this year, I gotta narrow it down. For me, if I had to pick, it's probably Whitechapel, The Valley, and I liked older Whitechapel, and as the last, I want to say, 2 or 3 albums they come out with before The Valley, it was very you know what I mean? It was very
I'm not laughing at that. I was laughing at that.
Yeah, I know what you're laughing at, but the albums before that were very to me. They were fun live, saw them live. The Valley, when I listened to it, was really good. It hit on more of a personal level for me because Phil Bozeman lost his mom at a young age. She was actually schizophrenic as well. A lot of personal stuff, and you know I can relate to that.
Right.
You know, I lost my mom when I was 15, so I get where he came from with that. The whole issue with parents, drug abuse, all that. It just seemed like a much deeper album than what they've been putting out. So that one to me hit hard, and actually I don't like as much as I love that album, I don't like listening to that album anymore because I get into a very dark place with that album. I definitely get into my own head, and it's just like, especially if I've been drinking, bad times. But regardless, great fucking album if you want something hard hitting.
Well, that's just the power of music. Like, fucking, whenever I get real down in the dumps these past few weeks, I just turn on Pressure.
Yeah.
And as soon as Low comes on, I'm like, yes.
Yeah. The one song, there's 2 in particular that are on the album The Valley that are about his mom. fuck, it's gonna piss me off. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'm recommending it. I don't remember the songs off my head.
While you're looking that up, another great album that you'll disagree with, and I'm not going to say album of the year for me. It was just, I listened to it, and I didn't really have a track I didn't like on it. Motionless in White's new album, Disguise.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about that one.
I knew you wouldn't be, because I know you prefer their older stuff, but it's just a fun listen for me. Like, I really... Because they still got some heavy-ass shit on there, too. But,
Well, like I said before, I haven't been 100%... I haven't listened to it all the way through, so I can't necessarily say it's not good. I just... What I've heard single-wise, I wasn't crazy about. So, there's that.
Well, I know my favorite song you would hate.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But the two songs that I was mentioning with the Whitechapel album is Hickory Creek and When a Demon Defiles a Witch.
You made me listen to Hickory Creek.
Yeah, that song hits me so fucking hard on a personal level. It's not even... same thing with Demon Defiles a Witch. But another album of the year for me that just came out recently, actually like 2 days ago, is the Acacia Strain. It comes in waves. They dropped a surprise fucking album the night of... I think it was the day after Christmas. It was like at 12:04 the day after Christmas. So it was on the 26th. And I was up. I didn't listen to it right then and there. I was like, fuck, as soon as I wake up, I'm going to jam this shit. I had some running around to do around the house. I was listening to it, and I just stopped. I sat down. I listened to it front to back 3 times over. And I'm like, this is not fucking fair. And it's like nothing they've put out before. It is just... The best way to listen to that album is from front to back. If you go in and listen to one song, it's good. You can get the gist of it. But it's a story. You have to listen to it from front to back in one sitting. It's not a super long album. I think there's only 6 or 7 songs.
Oh, so it's more like a EP, LP almost.
Well, yeah, it is an EP, but still it's kind of like on that cusp. They consider it an EP, but to me it's too long for an EP, is what it is.
Too short for an album.
Yeah, but it was so fucking good. It's about a 30-minute listen, but it is so different than their other stuff, and it's probably their best album, I guess, since Wormwood, which, if anyone knows that band, that was probably their last really, really good album, and Coma Witch, you know?
I had somebody else telling me that the new Acacia Strain was great, and I should listen to it.
You might enjoy it because it's different. It's not super chug. Yeah. Well, see, it's funny you mention that because I always consider them more of a hardcore band, but they get lumped into the deathcore area. Do they have areas of deathcore? Yes, but they've always been a hardcore band to start off with. It's just they've kind of went one direction, but this shows their diversity. This is more of a doom cosmic crusher. This is the best way I can describe it. It's a cosmic fucking crusher. Highly recommend it. Oh, I see doggos.
Yeah. He was looking at Deadpool, and then he just flicked to me. You cannot have Deadpool, Odin. You can wag your tail all you want. You can't have him.
And then the last album of the year for me, I know this is like the 3rd or 4th one, but...
Right, we haven't even touched Decade yet. We're on album of the year still.
Cattle Decapitation, Death Atlas. It's nowhere near for the decade, because I actually talked to you when it came out, because I listened to it as soon as it came out. And for me, it was album of the year for sure, but for them, it was one of their weaker albums out of the last 3 they did. So, still extremely good. I wish they would have kind of kept it more like, another album, which I'll talk about later. But fucking great album, to say the least. So that's album of the year. Those are my albums of the year so far.
So now the question remains, what would be the albums of the decade? What would be your number 1 album to pick of the last 10 years? And 2009 doesn't count. I say 10 years, but really we're counting 9 years and 364 days.
Yeah, I got
2010 to 2020, quote, quote.
Fuck. You're really, cutting me down on that. If I had to choose just by, what I've lived most, it would probably be Make Them Suffer, Never Bloom. And that's only because I've listened to it probably the most out of all the other albums on my list. So now, would I say it's my number one overall? Probably not. But like I said, just because I've listened to it the most, I know I know for a fact I listened to it the most.
Okay. So what are some of your others, regardless of playtime?
Man, I could just rattle off a bunch. Shadow of Intent, Reclaimer. If anyone knows Shadow of Intent, the band is mainly Halo related.
I think we talked about that last episode.
Yeah,
or 2 episodes ago with Chrono.
Yeah, their vocalist Ben Dewar is a fucking animal on the microphone. He's probably like one of the best like death metal, deathcore vocalists around. Dude, I can go fucking on. The last 3 Acacia Strain albums, Wormwood. Because Wormwood came out in 2010. Death is the Only Mortal, Coma Witch. Cult Leader. There's Nothing Left for Us. There's a lot, man. Black Tongue, Nadir. That album was a fucking crusher as well. What I've come to realize for me, it really boils down to what I listen to the most at the gym, because that's where I do most of my music listening to.
Right.
And what I like to sing, what I like to do clean vocals to, and what I like to do my vocal stylings to. So, like, one of the softer ones is Issues Headspace. I love singing Issues. I don't care what any of you say. Fuck you. That band's awesome. Tyler Carter, I love you to death. Just saying. He'll never see this. I doubt he ever will. But, God, I love that guy. His voice is on another level. Every Time I Die, Low Teens for a southern hardcore band. They're just fun as shit. I mean, hell, you know them from Forza Horizon, Map Change.
Yeah.
That whole album, Low Teens, so fucking good. But yeah, I have a bunch, man. I can go on. What are some of yours?
Mine are based more off of nostalgia as opposed to listen time. If I had to choose the one album that I've listened to more than any in the last 10 years, it's Hollywood Undead's Day of the Dead. Which I would still put as my number one favorite album of all time, my number one album of the decade. But it just came out at such a good time in my life. Like, I was 18, I moved out on my own, not because of bad blood, but with the family, but just because I was going out on my own, and fucking I had a house, not even an apartment. I had a great roommate, I had a fun job, and Neverwinter had just come out, which was free to play, and so I was just no-lifing an MMO on my Xbox, constantly listening to Hollywood Undead, and life was good. And then I grew up, and it just went downhill from there. So that's why I love Hollywood Undead. It's that album. I'll put it on when I'm depressed as shit. And then some of the songs are deeper because they stopped rapping about their dicks like 2 albums ago. And then some of them are still just fun party songs. But it still brings up all those happy feelings and good memories. And so nothing will ever top that album for me, despite the fact that I know you fucking hate it with every fiber of your being.
I don't like them.
I love them, and I can't wait for their new album coming out in February. Yeah.
Hey, I made it a point that I would try to be.
That's all right. I'm about to hit you with some more that you might actually appreciate and respect.
Okay.
Avenged Sevenfold's Nightmare would be another one. This was right after the Rev died, and they brought in Mike Portnoy to finish the album that they had written with the Rev. He recorded the drums. This was also right around Modern Warfare 2 times. So I was constantly blasting this in the background while I'm running around Terminal and Rust and just having a blast playing with my friends. And I, as a guitarist, really love Avenged because Sinister Gates is just a very talented musician. And I love their writing style. And so I was happy that they had continued to push through what is going to be the greatest tragedy any band can ever experience. Not necessarily them, but anytime a band loses a member. We Came as Romans, Led Zeppelin, just losing a brother is going to be that hard, and they chose to keep going on. So I loved it. It seemed like a good send-off. They wrote their longest song ever at the time, Save Me.
What was that? I thought it was the one with
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Don't worry. I'm touching down on another Avenged album in a minute.
Okay. Go ahead. I'll just shut up and go ahead.
But there were just so many. They experimented a little bit. Shadows even went back to his, I don't want to say screams, but dirtier vocals on one of their songs, God Hates Us, which was really fun to listen to. I love that album. 2012 brought us Transit of Venus from 3 Days Grace, which was their last album with Adam Gontier before I don't know what happened, because to this day, his story and the band's story are still two entirely different things. But it was experimental. They came out with some great tracks, and they were my favorite band of all time, so to me, they could do no wrong. Now they can do wrong. But,
yeah, but don't you like Saints of Sonia now? Because isn't he in that?
Yep, Saint of Sonia is Adam's new band. It's got the guitarist from Stained. And I mean...
damn, I know his name because I like his signature PRS. It's a baritone.
Yep. I can't remember his fucking name right now, which is why I stopped talking.
Yeah, the only reason why it triggered something is because the last 10 Seconds of Life, one of, like, I actually know those dudes pretty decently.
Mike Mushok, or
yes.
Mushok, I don't know.
Yeah.
I knew it was M something, I couldn't remember. I was going to say Marcus, and I was nowhere near right. But I love Mud Shovel from Stain. Like, I just love that riff of just the harmonics. But yeah, it's... Saint of Sonia is, quote, I mean, it's not a super group by definition, but it's members of other bands coming together. So it's Adam from 3 Days Grace, Mike from Stained. They brought in the bassist from Crown the Empire and the drummer from Finger 11. So it's pretty cool to see that project happen.
That's a borderline super group, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, all these separate bands had achieved success, and then new members created. But a lot of people are like, that's not a super group. It's super groups, and I'm like, whatever. It's music. We're gonna argue over it no matter what.
For alternative music, it's a super group.
Yeah, and Saint of Sonia's new album just came out. Took 5 years, and I love it. It's great. It's just Adam Gontier is one of the most unique voices to me. So instantly identifiable, recognizable, and he writes some good shit. Then we're gonna get into the heavier stuff. Sempiternal was a fucking incredible album. And that one, there's no real reason, no stories, no nostalgia. Just, I love that album. I listened to the shit out of it. Great songs, great tracks. Antivist, Sempiternal, obviously.
I'm surprised you didn't choose the one after that.
That's the Spirit.
Yeah.
I like Sempiternal more.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, because it was heavier. Like.
Well, and it's funny. The reason why I say that is because I like Sempiternal, but I like This Is the Spirit more. I love both of them.
I think that might be because in terms of musical abilities, That's the Spirit was better, because until Ollie started taking vocal lessons, he was not that great of a singer.
Very tone deaf.
And in That's the Spirit, he actually learned how to start singing and sounding good.
Yeah, he was working on it.
Yeah,
pretty regularly.
That's the Spirit's a fantastic album too. I love Sempiternal. That's what got me into Bring Me the Horizon. And I'm just kind of going year-based right now. I'm going like 2010, 12, 13, which is why you haven't heard a few of the other bands that you'd expect to hear by now. I mean, we got to touch...
drawn a blank.
No, I've got a couple. I'm just trying to figure out which one to talk about. Ice Nine Kills.
And you know what? Before you go any further, that's actually on my list. The Silver Scream. It's actually on my list.
It's not the Silver Scream that I'm going to say.
Oh, okay. All right, so go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm doing 2 Avenged albums and 2 Ice Nine albums. Silver Scream is on my list, but I was going to say Every Trick in the Book. Okay. Because that's the one that got me into them. That's got Communion of the Cursed on it.
Which is the one I showed you.
Yeah, and that's what just got me into them. And, I mean, their older albums, too, are great. Safe as Just a Shadow and all that. Even their demo. But, I mean, that's part of the reason why I got the Ice Nine Kills tattoo. Quote, quote. We'll delve into tattoos in just a bit. But I just really enjoy the creative writing style that they have. Of, instead of just writing shit, building stories based off of pre-existing stories. So, you've got Community of the Cursed, which is about The Exorcist. You've got Me, Myself, and Hyde, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. The Plot Sickens, which was about the Andes airplane crash with the 16 survivors that had to resort to cannibalism to survive. And it's just such a good fucking song. They're all based off of books. And then, as Doom was mentioning, I was on his list, and it's on my list, The Silver Scream. all about great horror films.
Which, now, I just want to preface this by saying, now, the first time I listened, I think we talked about it in one of the early, I want to say we did. To me, Silver Scream, when I first listened to it all the way through, I gave it a half-assed listen. I was like, oh yeah, okay, horror movies. I didn't listen to everything from start to back,
Right.
the way I should have.
You listen to a minute 45 and then be like, all right, it's going to be verse, chorus, skip.
Yeah, exactly. And I just wanted to get it done and over with quick. And I think I remember talking to you about this lyrically. I was like, man, it's like too on the nose with some of the shit that they're doing, that how Spencer was writing.
Right.
And I was like, man, I wish they would have been a little bit more creative, but I know they're going off of preset topics. Like, all right, obviously if you're writing about a movie, you got to keep it about the movie, so you have to talk about or sing about the movie. You got to create your hooks, choruses, all that kind of stuff pertaining to it. So I understood that. I was like, man, I don't know. It's just kind of to me. The more I listened to it, the more it dawned on me, because a lot of the movies that they were, talking about was 70s and 80s movies.
Yep.
I think the only
as shit cheesy movies.
Exactly. So I was like, you know what? That makes sense now, because I listened to it again, and it makes sense that they're on the nose and how they did it. And I appreciate it more now, and I actually appreciate that album as a whole, because they're another band with that album. I feel like they took a big leap in doing a bunch of different styles.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
From Merry Xmas, where he did deep gutturals that he hasn't done, even though he did them not right for you, but he still attempted them. And then you've got like A Grave Mistake over here with some piano in it and just, a radio friendly hit. And then you got It Is the End, where they brought in a fucking ska band to play behind them.
Exactly.
And it was just so well done. I really, because I also love JD, their guitarist. I think he's just got something in him that clicks really well. Like, his riffs are great. And he's got a YouTube channel that actually teaches you how to play his songs. Like, he'll play through them with you. Really? No vocals or anything, so you can just watch what he's playing. Unfortunately, it's not tabbed, and a lot of the time he plays on a fretless guitar. Well, not fretless, but there's no dots.
Oh, okay.
So
gotcha. Yeah.
I'm like, are you on 5 or 7 right now? Which isn't normally that hard to tell, but when he's like, I'm like, fuck, pause, frame by frame by frame. But it's really cool, and he'll overlay it. There'll be a little video in the bottom corner of just like the lead part in a chorus, and I'm like, I didn't realize he put in all these layers. And then on top of that, he's the other vocalist in Ice Nine Kills. So.
And one of the things that got me with that band, because I remember I was the one that showed them to you. I liked it. You're losing it. I
am just a mess tonight. I've had 2 beers. I swear I'm not drunk. I'm just cramped.
I swear to drunk.
I swear to drunk, officer. I'm not God.
But no, I remember showing them to you, and we went to a show to see them together. Kind of like made you go. And it was funny because at the time I wasn't crazy about them. Actually seeing them live definitely changed my opinion of them, and I actually enjoyed their live set. And actually that's another band that I want to see this upcoming year. I definitely want to see.
So. Oh yeah. No, I was blown away by them because I only had maybe 3 days prep time before that show. You were like, these guys are playing on Tuesday. And I was like, all right, well, I got to listen to some fucking songs. And like, my favorite song from them is Let's Bury the Hatchet in Your Head. And they started out with like the monologue from American Psycho. And I was like, yes! But they just sound like they do on their record.
Yes,
they
are very
sound
consistent.
Good. And I mean, there are some backing tracks because they do a lot of layers with a lot of different things. So some people are like, Spencer doesn't sing all of his parts. Well, they fucking record 7 parts. No, he can't. And that's where JD comes in.
I will say this. I've seen heavier bands, and I'm not going to say names on this. Usually I'm very good at calling them out, but I just don't want to get into it. I've heard much heavier bands do much nastier, gnarlier vocal that they can do live, but they backtrack some of them. And there's so much backtracking going. I would go to the soundboard at my local venue, and I was like, hey, let me hear the backtrack, and I turn it on. I hear what the band's doing. I want to hear what their computer's doing. Because obviously, if they're running through a MacBook and doing all those layers,
right?
I like to hear the raw sound and then the overall sound. And I'm sorry, if your raw sound doesn't sound good and it's mainly backing track, I instantly lose a lot of respect. And there's one band in particular that actually, Laura, she remembers this. She was the one that pointed it out to me because I was like, oh yeah, this band's really good. I really dig what I'm listening to, but I wasn't like.
Is it somebody I know or listen to, or just no?
No, it's
okay.
Not. You wouldn't like them regardless.
I figured.
And I was like, man, this is really good. It's really fucking heavy. Like, damn. And I didn't think about it until she's like, something's not matching up. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, watch. And she pointed out the bass player, the guitarist, and the vocalist. She says, watch parts. I was like, some of it's not matching what they're doing. I'm like, oh shit. I wasn't paying attention enough that I went back to the soundboard. I was like, hey, let me hear real quick. He gave me the headphones and listened to him real quick, and he said, yeah, watch this shit. And he fucking flipped the switch. I'm like, so I lost a little bit of respect. But they're still good live. It's like, I wish bands were more raw. But like, if your backing tracks and all that should only add to your live experience. It shouldn't be the live experience.
Exactly.
That's my opinion.
Because like I liked Ice Nine before we went to go see them, but I obviously didn't have time to listen to their whole discography, and I was like, they're good. I don't know if I'm going to go crazy for them. And then I saw them live. And I was like, holy shit, that is an experience. Like, they sounded good. They were entertaining. They didn't just, stand there. And it's a small-ass stage, because it's New Brooklyn, which I love that they came to a fucking hodunk little venue like that.
Hey, show some respect.
I've played that stage like 25 times. I love New Brooklyn.
Thank you.
But, I mean, they could have gone to Charlotte or Atlanta, and they stopped in Columbia, South Carolina. And,
Acacia Strain's coming back, so
there you go.
About to bring the ignorance back.
Yeah, so literally that night I went to their merch stand. I bought their album. We listened to it in your car on the way home. I got to take a picture with Spencer, but I love Ice Nine Kills, so they definitely have 2 albums on that list for me. A Day to Remember. They came out with some fantastic albums this decade.
So I want to hear which ones you're talking about. So go ahead and hit me.
I would say what separates me from you was their weakest. That was their most radio-friendly one. It had some good tracks on there. Like, I love Second Sucks. Sometimes You Be Tails, I'll Be Sonic. But probably the weakest of this decade. It's a tie for me. But I don't want to use another band with 2, because I still have to talk about more Avenged. But I fucking loved Common Courtesy.
Okay.
Because it was a big fuck you to their record label. They had just gotten off from Victory. And I mean, we had been hearing about it for years, about the issues they were having, how they couldn't write what they wanted, how they were supposed to make 3 more albums with them. And like literally...
Victory.
Yeah, right? The last track on the album, The Document Speaks for Itself, is just a huge fuck you to Victory. And at the end, you hear them sending off the email of, the album to Victory. And at the end, they go, "We're fucked." And I just love it. I love it. That's how they ended the album. I mean, there's bonus tracks and everything, but the last official song was The Document Speaks for Itself. It also had Violence, Enough is Enough, which is one of my favorite A Day to Remember songs. Like, that guitar riff just fucking hits. And there's so many other great songs on there, but I think the album that I enjoyed more and listened to more was Bad Vibrations.
Which it was very good, and honestly, if we were considering 2009 in this decade review, you already know which album would have been on there. Exactly.
Homesick would have topped it for everybody. Like, you can't top Homesick. But I think Bad Vibrations was almost like a stroke of musical genius, because it's literally like the first half of the album, the first 7 songs, is A Day to Remember. Fucking comes out swinging. There's breakdowns, just dirty vocals. I love Exposed, Reassemble. And then they're like, all right, it's fucking 2016. We got to make a living. And they made radio-friendly tracks, but they didn't make shitty radio-friendly tracks. They made...
Bad Vibrations was very good, and I agree with you on this. Out of the last 3, Bad Vibrations was the best one out of all.
Yeah.
I did like Common Courtesy as well. It's kind of like 1 and 1A to me.
Yeah, I mean, they're so close, but if I had to pick, Bad Vibrations is their best in the last decade. I'm really excited to hear You're Welcome, which comes out beginning of next year. Mm-hmm. I'm also really fucking scared to hear it, because their first track that they put out, Degenerates, I'm not big on. I'm really not. And I'm fine with radio-friendly A Day to Remember, their pop-punk style, but this just... It almost feels like their new studio, Fueled by Ramen, is just really controlling what they're writing. But then they came out with Resentment.
Yeah, which was a 180 from what they put out.
Which was fantastic. So I'm scared, like, okay, if it's going to be like Bad Vibrations and 50-50, am I only going to like 50% of it? Because Fueled by Ramen is taking over the other 50? Or so we don't know. We're going to have to wait and find out. But that'll be...
If serves me correct, I don't think they're on a label. I think they're doing everything that...
Is Fueled by Ramen not a label, or are they just helping distribute?
I think they're helping distribute. I think that might be one of their... it might be them. Because
really?
if memories... And the reason why I don't know for sure, I have to look it up, and we'll clarify later on.
I thought Fueled by Ramen was like an actual company. I could be very wrong, in which case don't lynch me in the comments, but...
No, the reason why I mentioned that is because when they left Victory, when that shit went down, it was a very big divorce. You know, mommy and daddy are fighting.
Yeah.
We're here in the corner. Just give me good music. And long story short, they did Common Courtesy, Bad Vibrations, and what was the other one?
What Separates Me From You.
Yeah, those are all self-produced and self-released. They just paid for the... Yeah, I'm almost...
What Separates Me From You was still with Victory.
I would check that, because I'm almost positive Actually, I think Common Courtesy was the last one.
Common Courtesy was their self-produced, because that was the fuck you send-off to Victory.
We'll have to double-check that. Because
I'm on
like
Wikipedia right now. Okay. Fueled by Ramen is not a Day to Remember. It is an actual company owned by Warner Music.
Huh.
Yeah. That's an actual label.
Subsidiary.
It's based out of Florida and New York City. They've got a Day to Remember, All Time Low, Panic at the Disco, Paramore, 21 Pilots.
Huh, interesting. I didn't even... Well, that explains why I don't...
Mm-hmm.
Really...
There's a lot of other bands that I don't recognize, so I'm just not listing them off. I'm just listing off the ones that we would know.
Yeah.
But let me check a Day to Remember real quick, because I'm 90% sure... What Separates Me From You and Lawsuit with Victory. So, yeah, Separates Me From You was still with Victory, and that's when it started going downhill. Common Courtesy was the send-off, where they finally got out. So What Separates Me From You was still under Victory Records.
See, I could have swore they did one they did it by themselves.
Common Courtesy.
So, so it was that. All right.
Yeah. Because that was when they did everything themselves. Self-release. Yeah, they self-released it and did it. Band's own label, ADTR Records.
Okay.
Bad Vibrations. That was a weird fart, Kane. They signed with Epitaph for Bad Vibrations.
Really? One album?
Well, it was released on their independent label and Epitaph. So I don't know if they have like a co-joint thing. I'm trying to see, and now they're with Fueled by Ramen, so maybe they just had friends at Epitaph and got some help.
It might have been. Yeah. And it's funny because like they're big enough where they can do whatever.
Yeah. Like they really don't need to sign with anybody now at this point in their career.
Exactly.
They've made friends in the right places. Like I'm sure Epitaph got pretty good money from Bad Vibrations. I'm sure Fueled by Ramen's going to get money, and maybe next album they'll self-produce again. But it's not the beginning of their career. Day to Remember knows what the fuck they're doing now.
Yeah. But yeah. All right, so continue on with your albums.
Avenged Sevenfold's The Stage.
I haven't listened to that at all.
I don't know how you're going to feel about it, because the first time I listened to it, I wasn't a fan. It is actually a fantastic album, though. I loved the marketing that they did, though. Kind of like what Acacia Strain did, where they just kind of dropped a surprise album on you. They released their single, The Stage. What's up?
I just remembered. I think I remember you talking about this because it had the drummer from...
Bad Religion, Brooks Wackerman.
Yes. Because you sent it to me, and there was actually a song, I think it was the first song they released.
The Stage.
Something along those lines.
Because the intro, while Sin is tapping, the drums going on in the background is fucking incredible.
That's right. So I did listen to that song, and I did appreciate that song. So that's the only thing I heard off it, because I remember you said, "Oh my god," and you sent it to me, and you're like, "I doubt you're gonna like this, but you're listening to it anyway."
I will follow up to that comment after I delve into it a bit. They released The Stage as their single. There's a music video and everything. And then they played a live concert that was live streamed on YouTube and everything on top of their record label's tower in like Seattle or whatever. And they had like a death bat projected in the sky and everything. They played, I want to say 10 songs. It was a pretty cool thing to watch. And at the end of it, about 10 minutes later, the album was up for purchase. Like, they hadn't announced a release date. It was supposedly rumored, all these companies are talking like, oh, it's going to be out in 3 months. It's called like Volcanic Eruption. And they played the secret set and then just launched their album immediately. And I lost my shit. I fangirled and I went out and bought the album. But their now longest song on there, which is 16 minutes long, has Neil deGrasse Tyson in it and everything. Because the whole album is pretty much about the heavens above, does God exist, science, and it's a really cool listen when you listen to the lyrics. But the only reason I would recommend you listen to it, like back to front, is because the drums on this album are so fucking good.
Yeah,
like Brooks shines in every song. And don't get me wrong, I mean, Sinister still has his great solos, and Shadow's got the voice. But as I'm listening, I'm just like, I love that drum work. Next track. Oh, fuck, that's a good drum fill. And
which, you know what the crazy part to me about all of this is? Now, I'll be the first one to tell you, I'm not crazy about Avenged. I respect the Rev for his songwriting abilities.
He was a great songwriter.
Little Piece of Heaven. Dude, you gotta be one hell of a musician to come up with all that shit, and that's a great song.
He came up with the piano melody and everything, too.
Exactly. Like, I fully respect that.
He wrote the guitar part to Almost Easy as well. He was just like, Sin,
really?
Here you go. And because they were talking about it in an interview, because it was on their self-titled album, not to cut you off, but since we're talking about the Rev's great abilities, they did a whole bunch of behind the scenes on their self-titled album. And Sin was like, yeah, he was sitting there and he's writing this thing and he's just making up fucking chords that don't exist. And he's like, here's how you play it. And I was just like, okay. And we did it, and then you got Almost Easy.
See, and that's interesting because I didn't actually know that part.
Yep. Well, not the whole song, but like that intro riff, the that's all the Rev.
See, and like I said, he's a good drummer, but when everyone was talking about Portnoy stepping in, after he passed away, I'm not like one of those guys like, oh yeah, fuck Portnoy's so much better, this, that, and the other, and blah blah blah. Because you gotta have respect for the dead. Plain and simple. This dude was a very good drummer. Was he the best?
No.
Was he one hell of a songwriter? Absolutely.
Incredibly. I will say his drum part in Beast and the Harlot was so well done. The footwork.
Understandable. Me personally, I think Portnoy was a better. I mean, you listen to anything on Dream Theater, you're just like, it's a fucking clinic. But when I heard The Stage, I was like, wow, this dude is, to me, a better fit for them than Portnoy ever was. To me, Portnoy, I hate to say this, almost seemed like he phoned it in with them, made the money.
I think he did, because the drums on that album, like I said, it was one of my albums of the decade, but more so for Sinister and Shadows than the drum work. They brought Mike Portnoy in, and he agreed to do it because he was Jimmy's favorite drummer. He was his idol, so it was almost like a perfect send-off to have him finish the album. But when you listen to it, like, you can tell where Jimmy wrote the drums, and then you can tell the unfinished songs where Portnoy came in.
Yeah.
Because he just didn't care. And then after that, there was another drummer. They got rid of Portnoy. They did one album with him. They brought in Aaron Islej from a band whose name I can't remember. And that was the Hail to the King album, which wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. It's just not going to be on my list for the decade. Then they got rid of him, and they brought in Brooks Wackerman.
I thought Hail to the King was still Portnoy, too.
Nope. It was Aaron Islej.
Interesting.
Yep. And now I'm just really hoping that Brooks lasts longer than the other two, because he's a great fit for New Avenged.
Yeah, it was. I actually really appreciate the drumming. So.
But I think that might really top it off for me. Day of the Dead, A Day to Remember, Avenged Sevenfold, Ice Nine Kills, 3 Days Grace. I'll see if another pops up, but let's hear some more of yours.
Vitriol, Parting of a Neck. Again,
sounds interesting.
Again, I don't expect anyone to really know who these bands are. as you can tell, I love death metal, deathcore, subgenres of all. That's
He
kind of
goes
what
heavier
mainly
than I
listen
do.
to. Yeah, exactly. Vitriol is probably one of the best. I'm not even gonna say newer, but they're in the grand scheme of things newer. They got 2 albums, if I'm not mistaken, and they're both heavy as shit. Behemoth, the Satanist, is a pure work of art. This is the album where Nurgle, the lead guitarist and the frontman of Behemoth, it was his first album after beating cancer, leukemia, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot of people asked him, like, "Oh, you're gonna do a new album. Oh, you have cancer. Did you, revert back to God?" He's like, "Fuck no. I'm not. I don't believe in God now. I'm not gonna believe in it on my deathbed." And then his next album was called The Satanist, and it was like perfect. Like he was like, "Fuck you. I stick to my guns." So I appreciated that. And the album is a fucking beautiful work of art. Even if you're not into, like, I guess, blackened death metal or extreme metal, whatever you want to call it, give it a listen. Extremely good. There's a little bit of something for everyone on there. Last 10 Seconds of Life, Soulless Hymns. A lot of groove, a lot of chug. Great for heavy lifting. Slaughter to Prevail's Misery Sermon. I actually
That's the
just
one
saw
with
Slaughter to
Alex the Terrible, right? Or
Yeah, Alex Terrible. That
okay.
dude's voice is. I just saw them right before I got. That dude's voice is so fucking powerful. I actually was one of the naysayers. I'm not too sure. I saw it live, and then I saw him take his fucking microphone away from his mouth, and he did a vocal part over the crowd, and you heard it. I'm like, dude. So I give them all respect, but that album is just awesome as well. So but yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, last one for me, and this is it. Nails, You Will Never Be One of Us. Nails is kind of like a trying to think of the best way to describe them. A grind-esque band. For stuff, if you like Nile, if you like Cult Leader, they're just very heavy, very aggressive, very riff heavy, very fuck you in your face. They're just great to listen to. I haven't seen them live yet, but every time I've seen them live, their albums just get better and better and better. Unsilent Death is another album of theirs that I almost put on this list. It's actually probably like right here compared to You Will Never Be One of Us, but they're just so fucking good. They're very fuck you. This is the music we want to play, and fuck you if you're not. And I appreciate that. Like, they're no compromising. So
Right on. I wish I could chime in on any of these. Even just knowledge of the band would help, which is why you heard me say Alex Terrible, and that was about as far as I was able to make it, but fuck yeah.
And I do want to say one more thing just pertaining to heaviest, whatever. I showed you this band I'm gonna say maybe it was last week or the week before, that breakdown. Fuck. Oh, it's gonna kill me because it was literally right on the tip of my tongue.
Was it the ones that you just went and saw?
No, it's not. I want to see them. They're actually coming to Greenville next month.
Was it the one with like the choir ending that was
yes,
dope as fuck?
Brand of Sacrifice. Brand
There
of
you go.
Sacrifice. The song's called Eclipse. Heaviest breakdown of the fucking decade. I don't care what you say. Best fucking breakdown I've heard in a long time. I'm a sucker for a good breakdown. That breakdown just. Sorry. But yeah.
And that is the power of music, ladies and gentlemen.
Just makes you want to be fucking violent.
Oh yeah. There are the breakdown outro of The Document Speaks to Itself for like A Day to Remember makes me want to chuck a baby against the wall. I'm just like, yes, I can feel how angry you guys are about this, and I love it.
There it goes.
Not my fucking problem. But yeah, no, I'd say it's been a pretty good decade for music.
For the most part, there's definitely some that I would be like,
there's
really?
some blemishes. Yeah.
There's yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just like more trends seem to fade out as others came in, because I mean, we got to see I'm gonna say the evolution of Linkin Park.
Mm-hmm.
in the fact that I love their first 3 albums. Like, I loved Minute to Midnight, and that's when everybody started hating on them. But I thought Minute to Midnight was a good track. And then they started to just really... Like, their guitarist, Brad, has pretty much not done anything for 4 albums, and I feel bad. I'll take that back. They did The Hunting Party, which went back to, like, their roots, but sounded really weirdly produced. But it's just a whole lot of electronica and Mr. Han and everything. And don't get me wrong, they've had some catchy songs, but that started becoming the thing. And we saw a lot of rise of pop.
Well, and that's something I actually wanted to mention when you were talking about this. Blemishes and all that kind of stuff. Something that I do appreciate that's going on now is you're getting this constant recycling and changing of pop artists. I haven't really seen a pop artist get to the top and stay there for any extended period of time. And the reason why I think this is, and this is just me being maybe crazy or anything like that, there's no sustaining power in new age rap and new age pop. It's your 15 minutes of fame, you make your millions or however much, and then they fade off.
Yep.
There's only a few right now that even are staying in the limelight from
Billie Eilish.
Well, and I would even give her as a splash in the pan because she just got famous within this last year and a half.
2 years, because she came out with her single 2 years ago, and that's when the record got signed, and then she wrote and all that. But I see what you're saying. Go on.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, yeah, people did know of her, but she really blew up in this last year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that album was, which I
just discovered her 6 months ago. So
yeah, it's amazing to me. Like, you're seeing some of these rappers come up. Some of these mumble rappers, which I do love rap, but I hate mumble rappers.
There is such thing as good rap, people. You can write it, you can perform it, you can do it. I promise.
And it's just crazy to me. Like, you're getting a lot of these come up, they get really fucking big. They'll do one album, and then all of a sudden it's nothing, and they just kind of fade out.
I'd say, I'm actually kind of curious to see what you say on this. I'd say the biggest pop artist of the decade that sustained pretty decent popularity and good hits for, more than one album, would be Katy Perry.
For the decade, maybe. And I'm gonna go completely honest here. Like, I'm not a person that's documenting everything.
Right. I mean, I'm just kind of going based off of memory, but I do love Katy Perry.
Yeah, that's I don't care what anyone says. But I'm kind of skewed on that because there's a lot of metal guitarists, gent guitarists that do Katy Perry covers. For some reason, she has found a niche for gent covers. Juice of Stalin, his YouTube channel pretty much was founded by Katy Perry covers, so that's why I'm kind of partial to her.
I'm writing an ET one, so
there's you go. Have you watched his ET cover?
No.
Do it. That's all I gotta say. Yeah,
because we did an ET cover like 7 years ago, and it was all right. Mm-hmm. And now I'm just evolving it, making it heavier.
But like I said, to me, it just seems like you're getting a lot of one album wonders, and they're not being able to sustain this this spotlight that hits them.
100%. Look at Lord.
Yeah. Who?
Randy from South Park. That's who.
Yeah.
But, I loved her, and I still think she's got a great voice. I love the cover that she did of Everybody Wants to Rule the World. I enjoyed her album. And then I thought she died. No, she did another album. She just hasn't really had a radio single. Halsey's another one that popped up, and she's still kind of relevant because she guest stars in a lot of songs, and she does have a very unique voice. She was on the Suicide Squad soundtrack. I like her. I haven't gone out of my way to listen to a full-length album, so I'm not going to judge based off of that. Mm-hmm. We talked about Katy Perry, Billie Eilish, and I'm very curious to see how that's going to go because we're just now watching this one unfold. Her album just came out. But Lorde was 17, too, when she hit her peak. Yeah. So, who knows? Whereas with the metal and rock industry, you generally see the same band stay at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, I mean, you may not be the biggest Avenged fan, but when their album drops, it's going to be a big thing to happen, especially after their hiatus coming back. And
I also think, and this is, again, my opinion, possibly skewed, when it comes to hard rock and metal and extreme metal, whatever subgenre, it's not readily available on the radio. You have to go out
Yes.
looking for it. You have to look for these new bands. You have to look for these albums. Now that you have Spotify, it's a great tool because it offers, recommendations now.
Suggestions. Yep.
Yeah.
I'll just
so
let Spotify run. I'll be like, I love this song, play, and it'll play that one song. And then I'm just like, do your thing. And that's how I found the new Motionless in White album. I was like, I didn't realize this came out. And I found a couple other artists whose names I can't even recall right now, but they're saved to my library because I was like, that's a good track. I'm going to go and listen to you again later. Oh, fuck, this is going to bug me. You're not going to give a shit about this, but you talk while I look this up real quick.
But, for me, I found Body Snatcher within the last year. There's just a bunch. You tend to go out of your way to look for these bands more so, and that's what I'm saying. With pop, it's what's on the radio, what's hot right now, and it's a flash in the pan. The fire hits and then it just dies down.
And then there's a new artist to write a song very similar, and then rinse and repeat. Similar to Spotify and how they'll just keep playing songs that are similar. I've discovered a YouTube channel I really enjoy watching or listening to. They're called Dreambound. It's Dreambound Records or Productions or whatever. And they just post a new song anywhere from every day for a week or once a week. And I discovered a band called Memorist, Lost. It's their first ever single from their upcoming album. And I'm like, all right, you already have me hooked. I love this track. Let's hear where it's going to go. And then 2 days later, they launched another album song from a band. And so it's like Spotify, and it's all metal rock. There's some genty shit in there, and then there's some alt rock, and it's just super cool.
Which is funny that you mentioned that because literally 3 weeks ago, I just had the same conversation with Sleep Token, which apparently they've been around for a little while. Heard of them. I saw them live just recently. Fucking phenomenal, may I add. And it's just great that you can find these newer bands through. Let's
pause real quick right there before I forget to ask this question because it just popped up in my head and I feel like it's a good one. It'd be better to ask with the other two because they're avid music listeners too, but I'll forget it. What is the band that you are most grateful you have seen? They may not have been the best show, but what is just somebody that you're like, fuck yeah, I got to see them?
You're talking about in my lifetime?
Yes.
Shit. If I had to, Slipknot when Subliminal Verses came out, the album. I was in 8th grade when that album dropped. I remember getting it the day of. My stepmom actually got me the deluxe package too, which came with the extra booklet, extra songs, all that kind of stuff. She hooked me up. I was so happy. And then the funny part is, I was in 8th grade and they were coming to New York and New Jersey, and they were playing at Nassau Coliseum, which is basically right outside of the old Giant Stadium, the Jet Giant Stadium, was right outside. And my dad bought me tickets for me and my sister, and we saw that whole fucking show. And I had to do in Jersey, I don't know if they still have it, but they have what's called the GEPA, which is your grade 8 equivalency passing exam or whatever, to get out of 8th grade to get into high school. And it's just standardized testing. My dad's like, you do know you have this tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, but Slipknot's today. I don't give a fuck about this.
I can die today.
Yeah.
After I see Slipknot.
So, and that's always been one of my favorite bands I've ever heard anyone.
So would you say that's the best show you've ever seen, or just the band that you are most grateful to have seen?
I would have to say it's probably the best show and band I've ever seen live. Just the production, everything together. It was something that's always stuck with me. Now, have I seen other great bands, other great shows? Of course. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But to me, that will always stick out, memory-wise. As soon as you mentioned that, that was the first thing that went to my head, and I was backlog if there was anything else that even came close to that.
See, my answers are two drastically different ones because, the best show I've ever seen and the band that I'm so fucking grateful I saw. The band, to answer the question I asked, the band that I'm so happy that I saw, I got to see Linkin Park.
Oh, shit.
With Chester Bennington still alive. And if I had asked that, and like Chester was still around touring today, that probably wouldn't be my answer. But just because he's not here anymore, I'm incredibly lucky that I got to see Linkin Park in their prime too. This was right after Minutes to Midnight too, so we didn't have to listen to shitty songs live. We got to see 3 fantastic albums worth of music with them playing instruments and Chester just killing it. And I went with Wolf to that concert. My Chemical Romance was there too. Placebo, Him. It was a great show. It was their Project Revolution tour.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned that because I almost had a chance to go to that tour. My buddy actually went to it up in Jersey at PNC Bank, it was called, and he went and he's like, dude, I had an extra ticket. I figured you didn't want to go because it's not heavy enough for you. But I'm like, dude, it's fucking Linkin Park and MCR. Of course I'd fucking go.
Back in their prime too, like.
Yeah. Exactly. So I do regret not being able to see that because honestly, if I did see that, it would probably be right up there too.
Yeah, no, it was. I'm so fucking happy. Like I've got that memory of seeing them live, and it was a damn good show too. Like I'd put it up there as my tops because, yeah. I mean, I'm sure plenty of you have watched videos online of Linkin Park live, but god damn, Chester Bennington is a legend. Not just because he's dead, not one of these mumble rappers that accidentally overdoses and instantly becomes a rap legend, but just. Chester Bennington was a hell of a fucking vocalist.
Yeah, yes he was. I give him credit, and I'm not even crazy about Linkin Park like Freak is, and I respect that a lot. Yeah. All I'm gonna say is the I've given up, that scream.
Yeah, like the 32-second scream.
I remember hearing that for the first time. I'm like, dude, there's no way. There's no fucking way he can replicate that live. And he did. Like, he did it. He did it.
Time and time again.
Spot on. I was like, all right. I see you.
Yeah. And it's hilarious, too, because there a popular YouTube series that's popping up is Vocal Coaches React To. And so, like, one of them reacted to David Draymond from Disturbed doing Sound of Silence. One of them reacted to Chester Bennington doing Given Up. And they were just like...
Yeah.
and they're like... It sounds like it's hurting him, but you can see from his form and everything that he's doing that it's not. He's just good.
It's awesome that those kind of channels are actually coming up, and I really appreciate them. Actually, I was talking to Chrono about this, I think the last podcast, or the Oddcast beforehand, about the Cardivox Academy, and this guy pretty much specializes in heavier-sided vocals, like, tunnel throat, all that kind of stuff. And he breaks it down so well, and he's probably like one of the best ones in my opinion. And his channel is relatively young, because they're still bigger than ours, but you get the point.
Right. Everybody's bigger than ours.
He's actually starting to pick up, and I really appreciate how he breaks stuff down. I'm not gonna say like I haven't learned anything from him yet, but I've picked up different styles that I necessarily wouldn't have tried necessarily. I guess right. I don't know, ass backwards, but.
Pause and just remember like hour and a half, because normally I can get up and go take a piss when there's multiple people talking, but it's just us, and I'm gonna have to edit out this just empty fucking. I'll be right back.
All right, hour and a half.
Oh my fucking god, that was the best piss I've ever taken in my life. And I might leave that in the fucking video. Dear God.
Funny part is
goddamn fire hydrant.
You hear the toilet flush too.
Did you?
Yeah, you hear the toilet flush too. All of a sudden, great. You don't hear you pissing, but you hear the toilet flush, and you just walk in. Damn, that was the best. I appreciate that. That was awesome.
Oh yeah. No, All right, so yeah, it's a minute 35 now, and I walked away at a minute 32. I didn't realize I was pissing for that long.
Well, um, so yeah, so music wise, definitely some good stuff there. Definitely some good stuff.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see how it evolves even more, because if you remember, like early 2010 to 13, Skrillex was fucking huge.
And then dropped off.
I have no idea what he's doing now. And I mean, EDM has kept up nicely, Fox Stevenson, Deadmau5, but as for actual like dubstep, I feel like it's really dropped off now.
It was a fad, like we were saying before, a flash in the pan.
Yeah, and I enjoyed listening to it, but then I feel like the artists just refined it. Again, like Deadmau5 and Fox Stevenson, they just, let's go more EDM. You can still have the same effects, but it doesn't have to be like, Bwong!
Well, it's funny you mentioned that too, because you have like the Chainsmokers got popular really quickly, and I think they're coming out with a new album this year. Could be wrong, I don't know.
You saw them live.
Yeah, I did, and actually, that was actually one of the, besides me having a fucking ginormous panic attack, that was actually a really fun show, and that was actually one of the ones I considered saying that I was thankful to see, even though they're not in my realm, and that's kind of why, though, because they're not in my realm, and just seeing the production and what they did and how they put that live show together, it was a lot to it, and it was a lot of fun after, the panic attack. So
Trans-Siberian Orchestra is another one for me too. Production that they put into their set every night, they spend like $700,000 on their light show alone.
Damn.
And I've seen them 3 times, and every time it just gets better and better and better. I haven't seen them in about 9 years, but
see, it's funny you mentioned that. Like, I've always listened to them. I know who they. Never had the urge to see them live or anything, because I always just appreciated how they played their music. And the only thing that would get me to do it now is since Trans-Siberian's all about like Christmas music and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
August Burns Red did 2 Christmas albums, and you know who they are, right?
Yeah, they did a fantastic cover of Carol to the Bells.
Yes, so they did 2 whole Christmas albums, and my favorite one is Sledding Hill. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm like I said earlier, I'm not a Christmas person, but Laura and I love that album. We listened to it for like 2 fucking weeks straight before Christmas. Every time we got in the car to go somewhere, Sledding Hill, here we go, and fucking that whole album back to front. Like, I'm glad I'm not listening to it now, but
I would recommend going to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra live, because I mean, they're gonna play all the songs that you know, and they're actually, believe it or not, very talented musicians. Like, I was watching their guitarists play, and I was like, because my favorite, everybody always loves their version of Carol of the Bells, but my favorite song from them is called Wizards in Winter, and it's what you'll see a lot of the YouTube like synchronated house light shows to. Yeah, and it's so fucking fun to watch, and they do stuff like the First Noel and all that, and you're like, whatever, but the light show alone, worth seeing.
Well, I can appreciate that. Like I said, I'm not huge on Christmas, but I always like them as musicians. Same thing went for like when I Burns. I would actually just love to see either one of them do their albums live. Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing Trans just because.
So there's still 2 other things I want to talk about, but before we dive into those, I want to ask, who's a band that you haven't seen that you wish you could?
I'm actually hoping to rectify this.
And I'll let you give 2 answers, because I'm gonna give like an unrealistic answer and then a realistic answer.
I want to see Shed of Intent. I haven't seen them live yet. Greenville next month with Brand of Sacrifice. Actually, the whole lineup's good. I just can't remember. Oh, and Fury and one other band that I'm not remembering off the top of my head. As much as I love Shadow of Intent, haven't seen them live yet. That's probably like the most realistic one I'm going to see. The sad part is, you'll appreciate this. Bro Job is coming to New Brooklyn the same fucking weekend. The same fucking weekend. I think it's actually the same day, so I had to choose between Bro Job or Shadow of Intent. And I think I'm going to go to Shadow of Intent instead, which is like 3 hours away as opposed to 45 minutes away. I haven't fully made that commitment just yet, but I'm leaning more towards Shadow of Intent. That's really, I mean, I'm not the type of person that like, oh, I just want to go to more shows. That's kind of like a goal that I have this year. shows overall. I don't think I have any band in particular that I'm like, oh, I need to see them this year. Besides Shadow of Intent, because it's like right there. I know I'll be off for work. So.
No, my my unrealistic answer, even though there's two of them really, is Led Zeppelin. I would have fucking loved to see them live back, then.
Oh, you meant like a fantasy answer.
Well, that's why I said I'm going to let you answer twice, because you got your unrealistic and your realistics.
Oh, I thought you meant like
and then you went, yeah, I got you.
Today. My bad. So hold on. Black Sabbath. Original lineup Black Sabbath. I would have fucking killed seeing them live. There you go.
Yeah, no, Zeppelin's mine, tied with Motley Crue. I fucking love Motley Crue, and everybody's like, oh, Motley Crue's coming back. Tickets are like $250 for shitty seats, okay?
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to see Motley Crue live now. I would want to see...
Well, yeah, but it's still possible, and I'm still thinking about it, too. Like, I'm still like... Because they're coming to Charlotte.
Are they?
Yeah, they're coming to Charlotte. Because my dad's going to see them when they go down to Florida.
Okay.
And I'm like, Poison, okay, they'll be there. I like 3 songs from them. But Def Leppard and Motley Crue?
I would go for Crue. Because they're one of my favorite 80s bands anyways.
Crue was so fucking good. But those are like my unrealistic ones. My realistic possible one, oh, no. Because Tom's not in the band anymore. That's another unrealistic one. Damn it, Blink.
Blink 182. I already knew where you were going. You said Tom. I was like, Blink 182. I knew where you were going with that.
Good old-fashioned Blink. Because I've seen so many bands that I love. I've seen a lot of fucking bands. Because you go to a festival for one band and there's 27 others, so...
Yeah, but I don't like festivals. I've been to plenty of them. I don't like festivals.
I've never been to like a 3-day festival. And I don't think I ever really intend to, because I don't want to camp out in a tent and, not shower and everything. Because I shower twice a day. I'm really weird like that. But I went to the first ever Carolina Rebellion, which was just a fucking 15-hour event. And it was poorly planned. They had all 3 stages side by side. So you would just rotate 33 degrees to watch whoever was on the stage. I went with Wolf. And, we saw some great bands. 3 Days Grace was there. Avenged Sevenfold was there. Godsmack was there. And they were pissed. They were fucking angry. They almost walked off stage. Made me lose a lot of respect for them, actually.
Why were they pissed?
Because we were more excited about Avenged Sevenfold coming out than them.
Really?
Yep. Because Avenged Sevenfold was the closer. They were the headliner. That was the end of the night. And we had already been standing in the sun for like 13 hours. None of us moved. Like, we didn't have bottles of water or anything, because if you fucking move, you lose your spot. And Wolf and I were... not front row, but, a solid 15 rows back at this massive festival, and we were like, book it. Stand right here. If you pass out, I'll pick you up. Let's go. And, you get your surges, and by the time Godsmack came on, like, the whole crowd was just like...
Yeah, everyone's fucking dead.
Fuck. And they're like, are you not fucking pumped? And we're like, yay. And they're like, so how are you going to treat Avenged? And we were like, yeah! And they're like, oh, fuck this.
See, now it's funny you mentioned about the whole crowd surging, and this might be a little off topic with that. The worst crowd surge I've ever felt in my life, and again, you probably won't understand this, Gwar. Gwar was the absolute worst crowd surge I've ever felt, because if anyone knows who Gwar is, or been to their live shows, you know what I'm talking about. They spray blood all over the crowd, bodily fluids, you name it, all fake. Fun as hell, though. It's the stage show alone that you fucking are there for. The music's really good. When Otis was around, I haven't seen it with forgot the new vocalist's name. He's
new guy.
He's ex Beefcake the Mighty, old bass player from back in the day. So they brought him into the fold. Their shows are second to none. But I remember going to see Gwar like 3 times, and every time, everyone is pushing so much to get as close as they can to get covered in the shit, that the crowds are just fucking horrible. It's like people are swaying back and forth. And I've been in some like violent pits. That is probably the worst crowd experience I've had, just because everyone's trying actively to move and get closer to get fucking shot in the face with the bile driver or whatever. So
yeah. No, I just because I've never been crazy about Godsmack. I like a few of their songs. They're okay. But they've been around a long time, and, a lot of people respect them, and a lot of people love them, but I was just like, I'm here for Avenged. All my other favorite bands played. Fucking, we saw 3 Days Grace. Bullet for My Valentine put on a fantastic show. But by this time at night, I'm just like, I want to see Avenged set, which was like an hour and 45 minutes because they were the closer. So that we still had like another 3 hours to go. And then I was like, and then I want to drive 3 hours home. Sully, shut the fuck up and play your set and get off stage. And yeah, they were not happy about it. And I was like, I get it. I can understand playing to a disappointing crowd. I've done it. And I'm, a disappointing crowd for me was like 10, 15 people because nobody showed up. I've had good crowds of 60 to 100. But at that point, you're playing a festival. You've already made your money.
Yeah,
just fucking
really.
do your job. And
have fun, go with it, get what you can out of them.
Yeah. Instead of throwing like a Chad Kroeger Nickelback hissy fit in Portugal.
You want to listen to some rock and roll? Yeah, just not
I'm so happy you fucking understood what I was talking about there, because they just straight up walked off stage. I've seen Nickelback live too. Actually put on a fantastic show.
Nickelback's one of those bands where it's popular to hate them, but, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of their songs are cringy as shit.
A lot of their songs are also good. A lot of their songs are cringy.
The Hard Rock MBA did a Hated Bands Volume 2 on his page, and he was talking about Nickelback, and he was like, for the longest time, I didn't mind Nickelback, and I went back and went to listen to like a bunch of their songs, and they're generic as fuck. They're meant to be popular, but there's a lot of them that are kind of fucking questionable when it comes to lyrical content. He was like, there's a lot of songs about sex and some shit you just don't do, especially in this time of age. Like, I forgot which one it was, but you can watch his video and he explains it fully, and I'm just like, stop picking at it, jerk!
I'm not. I'm picking at the bandage. I'll show you guys this. This is the next topic. We might go over 2 hours.
Fuck it, right?
Yeah,
but yeah, so, but I always found that funny. Like, people were like, oh, and then you listen to the lyrics and you're like, oh, that's why. I appreciated that.
They do have some fun guitar riffs, so that's why I like jamming to them.
Their drum mix and the Hard Rock MBA went over this and fucking god tier. I always said that, like, their drummer, whoever
Daniel
they get
Adair.
to, well, he's good, he's fucking great, but whoever they get to record, mix, and master his drum sound is fucking god tier.
Yeah,
that is some of the best sounding drums I've ever heard in my life.
Oh yeah. I found it really funny, and I don't know how relevant this is, because there might have been more lineup changes in both these bands. But Three Doors Down was my first ever concert I ever saw, with Staind and Breaking Benjamin, and Staind sucked. Their drummer, Greg, their drummer was Daniel Adair. He went to Nickelback. Nickelback's drummer went to Three Doors Down. They just
really
swapped. Yeah, Greg Upchurch and Daniel Adair swapped places. Kind of like how
Lorna Shore and Chelsea Grin.
I was gonna say Ozzy Osbourne and Metallica, but
oh, sorry. I was talking about vocalists anyway. And by the way, I just want to say this ahead of time, even though I mentioned Lorna Shore. Fuck CJ McCreery and what he has done.
But you really like him with Lorna Shore, or
not? I mean, I respect him as a vocalist, but as a human being. No, he's in Lorna Shore now. Well, let me phrase that. He's out of what he did. So I don't even want to give him.
I'll Google
you can look it up later.
Yeah,
it's fucked up, and I just want to make it a point that I respect the band. I've always liked the band, even when Tom was in it. When they first started, they're from Jersey, my neck of the woods. I support the band. Fuck CJ. CJ, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, because their new single just came out like a month ago,
which was so fucking good, and I was coming around to him as a vocalist because I've never been big on him. I always thought he was overrated, and then that song Immortal dropped out, and I still listen to it, and I fucking hate that I do because he's on it, but it is what it is.
I'm very curious about it now. I'm gonna have to look it up. But as we drive into an hour and 50, because there's still 2 topics I want to cover, and we're gonna cover them both tonight. So this might be one of the longer podcasts with the fewest members.
Yeah,
let's get it. I got a new tattoo today. One of my Christmas gifts to myself. I was supposed to get a new tattoo like 2 years ago, and for all the younger viewers out there, life gets in the way. Or sorry, Jeff Goldblum. Life finds a way.
Okay, Joker.
Yeah, right. Every time I got the money saved up, like my car would die, or fucking we had to take Kane to the vet a lot last year. Hospital visits, So today I was like, I'm gonna go get a new tattoo. I was supposed to do it in Florida. My dad didn't want to, so I went and got my hand done. Almost backed out of doing my hand, but I was like, this is where I wanted to go. And so we got the Roman numeral for 9. Because it's reversed on camera. So generally when I'm playing guitar, you guys will see it as 9, but right now it looks like 11. Got it for Lord of the Rings, Ice 9 Kills, and bowling. Fun little inside joke with the friends there. But
basically, he can't bowl a strike.
And then I've got a picture of me getting a 4-bagger and beating the shit out of all of them. I still have that picture on my phone. Every time I get a new phone, I re-download that photo.
Just to make sure he's like, just remember who the fucking winner
is. There's a 4-bagger and it says freak on it, and I was like, yes! But no, we used to go bowling all the time. It was a blast every week. Doom and I were the only ones who ever drank, and we drink like 70 million beers. But I would always have trouble for like the first 6 fucking rounds where I'd sink 9 pins. I could not get a spare. I could not get a strike. I'd leave 1 standing. And I made the joke. I've got the curse of 9. I'm going to get that tattooed on my hand. And then I love Ice 9 Kills, which is why I have it tinted with red. And it's a Lord of the Rings reference as well to the 9 original members of the Fellowship. So I got 9 done on my hand. I got it done on my picking hand on my guitar so that you guys can always see it. And thus, I got my new tattoo. But I've designed pretty much my entire body except for my face because I don't like face tattoos. I think they look dumb. And I know Doom has a lot of tattoos planned out as well. So I figured we'd talk some ink for a minute. Show off what we do have and talk about our plans going forward. Doom, I would like for you to start.
All right, so...
Next! All right, so...
Motherfucker!
No, go on.
Starting off, I have a whole chest piece. I'll show that in a minute. And then I have a partial half sleeve. I say partial because the inside still has to get finished right here. This is work done by my good friend Billy.
Who gets paid in pop vinyls.
Well, I can't say that. Not entirely. I just help with the pay for it. That helps because he was the one that got me hooked on pop vinyls and, spread the wealth, people.
You want to know what's actually really weird right now with you showing this? It looks better through this camera, looking at it like that, than when he showed it to me in person.
I'll take that as a win.
I mean, it looks
great. This is all done freehand. It's the Baphomet on its pedestal, nuclear bomb going off, zombies under here. That's my guy right there, big zombie.
Big zombie.
I'll try to get as much detail as you can. In my opinion, the camera doesn't do it justice because Billy, as much as I love him, is a detail master. This is kind of hard to see what it is, but this is a zombie Pope here, he just has the blood lining done. You can see the Pope hat kind of right here, the zombie face, and the inverted cross here. And he's got the incense burner with a bunch of skulls inside the incense burner, and this is the flames coming from the incense burner. Okay. And fun story about it, I'll try to get closer. When I was talking to him about it, he's like, do you want, what do you want? I was like, I gave him pretty much full artistic
creativity.
Yeah, to do what he wanted. I said, here's my premise, this is what I want. I want the Baphomet, just because, I fucking love the Baphomet. I'm not religious. I love to show that shit off because fuck you.
And I do want to preface this to any younger people or older people, anybody who's thinking about going to get their first tattoo. Give your artist control. Go in there with an idea and let them do what they're paid to do. Because if you try to strictly control every fucking aspect of it, like I did with my chest, it comes out shitty. Everything else that I'm like, here's my idea, it turns out great.
So I'll double back on that in a minute. So I pretty much gave Billy full artistic, said, hey, do what the fuck you want. Here's my premise. Have at it. We decided actually the day of what we were going to do on the inside of my arm. We decided the day of what we were going to do on the inside of my arm. And it was like, I had like 2 or 3 ideas, but we both decided on Zombie Pope as a set piece. And I said, what are you going to put in the incense burner? Because we were kind of trying to figure out what we wanted to do. And he's like, I don't know, I'll figure out when I get to it. So he started drawing up on Sharpie on me. And then when he did it, I make it a point to not look at what he's doing until after he does most of it. Because I trust him. I trust my artist. And he wound up putting actually baby skulls inside the urn. And I asked him, I was like, is that the reason why I think it is? He's like, yeah, Christian religion. And this was actually right around the time where the archdiocese was trying to sweep under the rape allegations of I forgot how many churches up in the Northeast in Pennsylvania.
Damn.
So we were talking about that, and of course I don't like religion as a whole. So I was like, yeah, that's fine. Throw that on there. Fucking the Baphomet's Rising, you're gonna have this on there. And we have more ideas coming down the sleeve, which is just gonna continue on with undead shit, scenes of hell. I haven't decided what some of the set pieces are gonna be exactly, but it's all gonna come down to here. And then if I get this new job, which is a little bit more lax with their tattoo policy, because I can have tattoos down on my, all the way down my arm. I just can't have it on my hand or my neck, or on my face for that matter. This other job that I'm looking at, they're more lenient and they will let me, which I was just talking about earlier, right before we went on this Oddcast, that I do want to get my hands blasted as well. Not the knuckles so much, except for like a wedding band. That would be the only thing I do on my knuckles.
I've got both my knuckles designed.
Well, let me rephrase that. I want my knuckles done. Someone else doesn't want my knuckles done. She's kind of giving me leeway with the hands. So So this whole arm is going to be just evil, satanic, the dead rising, zombie kind of shit. I love. I'm all about that life. This arm, I've already decided I'm doing video game villains, and strictly villains, more so creatures, kind of like Silent Hill.
He specifies that because I keep saying do the Joker, and he says no.
Yeah, I fuck the Joker. I'm not putting that on my body. I play horror survival games. Like I love horror survival games and racing. If I'm usually playing one or the other, or Madden for that matter, but that's neither here nor there. So this is all going to be, Pyramid Head, the Keeper from Evil Within, Nemesis, all that stuff is going to just all take up this arm, and we'll see how that goes.
On there?
Oh, absolutely, that's in there as well. I was actually thinking about doing the Omen.
Okay. You're talking about the marker.
Yeah, the marker. I know why I was thinking the Omen, but the marker probably right on the inside.
That'd be pretty cool, because then we'd have matching tattoos.
Oh, not purposely.
No, and they'd be different, because I'm doing a hybrid, but continue and we'll delve into mine.
And the other thing that I was actually talking about doing, and it doesn't necessarily go into the theme, but I feel like it quasi does. I want to definitely get probably the Horde from Gears of War. I want to do like the Locust or some of the other creatures they had in here as well, because their villains is horror survival, but the first Gears of War game was very horror, driven.
Yeah.
So that's dark, just what I wanted.
Grim.
Yeah. So
General
that's kind of what I want to do eventually. But the goal for this year is to get this done fully. That's the goal for this year. I'm actually trying to see my tattoo artist next week. Not to get anything done, but just to get an appointment set, because he's always fucking booked up, but he tries to squeeze me in when he can. For my next...
There you go. I was going to ask, what else do you want to do?
Well, not even so much what else. I was going to show you my chest, pretty much like parts of my chest. My chest, I got done, I want to say like 6-7 years ago. Actually, it was when we were working together.
You and I were working together at GameStop, because I can't remember if you had it done before or after my arm, because we were both working with Van Meter and he did the same shit to both of us and slapped it.
No, he tried to slap mine. I fucking backed away. I wouldn't let him.
Okay, I think mine was first then.
Yeah, yours was.
In which case, it was 6 years ago, because I got mine 2 months before I graduated high school, which was 2013.
So this is the all-seeing eye. Got some roses on there as well, just
Damn,
to fill
it's bigger than I remember.
Yeah, it's a big piece. This was done in about 3 sessions. This was done by another artist. Actually, Chris Oldhauser, who was in Sumter at the time. I don't even know where he's at now, but he finished this, and I want to actually add more to it. So I'm going to get probably my buddy Billy to add more around it, maybe some more detail, and I eventually want to go down to my stomach as well,
Okay.
which I'm not looking to at all.
No.
I
Pretty much
do
everything
have,
else.
yeah, I do have one on my calf, which is actually a pentagram. It was actually my first tattoo, and it's actually not finished. This is actually after I do my arm. That's the next one on the list, is to finish this one all the way. And here's why I'm saying what I'm saying, contrary to what you were getting at with your artists. Kind of let them do what they want. When I went in for this on my calf, and I'll show it at a later time. It's just hard for me to show it in this angle.
It's a
Um,
circular pentagram that's bluish on his calf. I've
yeah,
seen it.
yeah, and it has like the pentagram's all broken up.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to have lyrics from the Acacia Strain on that quote. We all come from broken homes, broken hearts, and broken bones. That lyric to me always had a very strong presence, and I was always like, yeah, I'm that guy. Lyrics tattooed on him. But I talked to the artist at the time, who was my buddy, and I told him what I wanted, how I, and he's like, oh, cool, that works. Sounds good. He's like, do you care if I kind of, put my twist on it? I was like, yeah, absolutely. Here, and like I said, here's my premise. This is what I want. Have at it. Kind of like the way I did with Billy. I'm very open. So he showed me the outline, and the outline looked pretty good. By the time he finished, he went, I want to say, off course with it. It definitely just wasn't the way I wanted. I was happy with it. The more it was like, wow, this could have been a lot better in what he did and how he did, and I wish he would have asked me about certain things about what he did. But it is
And
what it
that's
is.
your first tattoo, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I feel the exact same fucking way about my first tattoo. Everything else. Okay, so go in with your first tattoo, be disappointed. After that, start giving your artists some control and get good artists. Because how much was the pentagram?
Shit, I can't remember. That was so long ago, because that was actually well before we even met. I think I was like 19 when I did that.
Okay. Did you go to a place like an actual shop, or did you go to something like Ouch?
No, I went to an actual shop.
Okay.
I think it was like 19 or 20 when I got that done. Because I know it wasn't legal to drink. I remember that.
Okay. So what else do you want to get done?
Too fucking much. Like I said, I want to get my whole chest done. Redone, I should say. Added more detail to it. Haven't decided exactly what just yet. I just know it's on the list. In a perfect world, which this is not, I would like to get my throat done.
Right.
I would like to get some kind of casket right here on my throat. I don't know why. I always love caskets, or even I don't want to do an
Caskets
owl.
are cool designs.
They are. I don't want to do an owl because a lot of guys in or deathcore and all that kind of stuff have owls like on their chest, on their stomach, or right here where it's very visible. I want to do something different. I'm not a biter. I don't want to do anything that's like that. I like doing like my own stuff, coming up with my own ideas. I do want to do stuff on my legs. If I didn't, one of the things I had a problem with the video game villain sleeve that I just mentioned earlier, I didn't know if I was going to do it on my arm or if I was going to do it as a leg sleeve. I was thinking about doing that because I've got very big legs. Granted, you guys never seen them, but Freak can attest that I have massive fucking legs, especially my calves. And I was thinking about doing the villains on my legs because you can just add more detail, all that kind of stuff. And then doing something, again, I just said I'm not a biter and I don't want to do all this stuff, but I love Japanese color pop as well. So there was that. But yeah, I mean, that's all in a perfect world. I've been coming more and more around to doing my head. I'm bald. I want to do the top of my head. Couldn't tell you why, but I want to do the top of my head. Granted, it's not going to be happen. And it is what it is. One thing that I am going to try and finesse and do relatively soon, and I'm not going to tell anyone about it. I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to show anyone either. If anyone's ever seen The Omen, either the new one or the old one.
I saw the new one.
Well, you still know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
The 666 swirl, I want to put it back behind my ear.
Because it also pops up an American Horror Story.
I Well,
in the
I want to put
apocalypse
it.
season, which was so bad.
Well, I'm glad I didn't watch it. Um, I want to put it right here behind my ear. I do have big ears, so I can probably hide it pretty decently. But if work sees it, they might be like, "Oh, you never told us about that one." I'm like, for years. Why is it shiny and glistening? I don't know.
I like to really take care of my tattoos. I keep applying ointment.
Yes, and that's pretty much it for the most part. Like I said, I definitely want to get my hands done. Some of the stuff I was talking to Laura about doing on my hands. There's an acacia strain cover that has a bird coming out of a skull. It's from Death is the Only Mortal, and I've always loved the color work on that, and I do want to get that on my hand. I was thinking about doing, like, of course, when this arm happens, I haven't figured out what I was going to do on this hand, but I definitely was thinking about doing something iconic, maybe. I don't know, pick something. I had a few ideas in my head. Maybe like I don't want to do the cog symbol or nothing like that. I want it to still be a creature, but I wanted something pretty grotesque. So that's what you see on my hand.
I got nothing.
I was thinking actually that's what it was. I was thinking about doing a clicker from Last of Us.
You're
Like the
trying
one.
to fit all that in on your hand?
Fuck yeah, Billy would be the one to do it too, because he's all about that detail. If I said like, hey, I want a clicker right here, just the head, not the whole body, just the head, the face.
Okay.
Yeah, not the whole thing. The
We
head,
probably have to
the
get
face.
at least a little bit of the shoulders in so that they could tell.
We'll see. I mean, honestly, if you know what it is, you know. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of some of the ideas I had.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't fucking wait to get more. I'm already like, okay, this guy lives in Pigeon Forge, which is about an hour and a half away from me. He likes video games, and I love what he did today. My hand didn't hurt at all. This is easily the least painful tattoo I've ever had done. Quick and easy. Barely felt it. It was glorious. But I want to do... I've designed everything pretty much except for my face. Next big one's going to be my video game sleeve, where I want to get a damn good artist to take the vision and make it better. But like, I want to get all the logos or iconic set pieces of my favorite games. So like, I love the Infected Crimson Omen that they came out with for Gears 3. Like that color explosion that they had. It's literally my keyboard on my phone. I want that as my shoulder piece. And on the inside, I want the Borderlands Vault logo with like a gentleman claptrap in front of it. I want to get Sly Cooper pretty much as the main piece on my forearm. Probably just the logo though, because that'll open up more space. I wanted to get not necessarily Isaac's helmet from Dead Space, but like the 3 blue visor marks.
I got you. Yeah,
and then over that, I was going to have in blood red the shape of the marker. I thought it'd be a really cool contrast. So people would be, the real fans would be like, is that Dead Space? And I'd be like, fuck yeah, that's Dead Space. Because I was like,
I said earlier, if you know, you know.
Yeah. I want to get the Vault Boy from Fallout, but I thought about changing it up, maybe making his outfit like dreary and blab and gray, and having the Skyrim logo instead of like Vault 111 type thing. That way I can hybrid just how much I love Bethesda. Their games are always broken. Their games are always going to be broken, but they're still the best for a reason.
Yeah, agreed.
On my wrist, everybody already knows what you're going to fucking put on your wrist if you're getting a video game tattoo. I'm going to get the chains from Bioshock. But I want to find like a hyper-realistic artist that can make it look like the chains just got pulled out of water. Like I want it to look like they're still wet on my wrist. And in between each link, I'm going to have it say, would you kindly?
I appreciate that.
And then I wanted to, this is when I start doing more hybrids like the Dead Space one. I love Legend of Zelda. I love Dark Souls. Dark Souls' most iconic thing, though, is the Dark Sign, which is just a ring of fire. And I was like, that's boring. Or you can take the fact that there's bonfires all throughout their game, and they got the sword shoved through it. So I was like, what if I took a bonfire from Dark Souls, but instead of the crooked, dilapidated sword, it's the Master Sword from Zelda. So I'm going to do a Dark Souls Zelda hybrid that way. On my elbow, it's a Pokeball. which is gonna hurt like a son of a fucking bitch. And pretty much the way I plan it is it's going to be a lot of red up here and a lot of blues down here with like Sly Cooper and the Visor and Fallout and Bioshock, and that way it's a nice contrast. But there's still a whole bunch of negative space in between that they got to fill. So that's where I want the artist to just kind of take free reign. And if he wants to put characters in there, like if you want to do a Mario star, that's fine. If you want to put the fucking I want the Assassin's Creed logo probably on the side of my wrist.
See, I figure you want to do something like an actual hidden blade right here.
That would be cool, except that's where the Bioshock chains are going to be.
Well, yeah, but you can layer it. Like, just put the apparatus here and just the blade sticking out. Yep.
That's where the artist will come in, because I'll be like, these are the games, this is the general idea, and because like this owl tattoo was only supposed to be like that big, and she was like, for the detail that you want with the idea that you have, I gotta blow it up. I said, do what you need to do. Turned out great. I love it to death. The moon was a painful son of a bitch to get. Fun fact, if you guys are going to get your first tattoo or another tattoo, don't drink the night before.
Yeah,
because it thins your blood, makes you bleed like a son of a bitch. They had to change my bandages like 7 times in the shop. And the guy's table was broken, so I couldn't even like lay down. I just had to sit in a chair, and he's like, all right, just pretend like you're handcuffed. And I sat like this for an hour and a half as he did my moon. But, I mean, the detail that he put into it, the shading, because I love hyper-realism. I don't like traditional style tattoos. They don't look as good to me. They bore me as much. So that's why I like the owl.
I'm the same way, though. Like, I like realism. I like color pop. Excuse me, color bomb. I do like some traditional, but it's got to be the right style. One of my old girlfriends had a lot of traditional style. It just looked right the way she had it put together. So, there's good here and there.
Yeah, I think everybody looks good with tattoos. I think everybody looks good with different styles of tattoos. Like, my brother's got a lot of pinups on him, and he was ex-Navy, and it suits him. Works real well for him. And I imagine American works great on a lot of people. Traditional, not American. It's just not for me. And that's why I like the hyper-realism of all the shit that I got. The first one I got...
Before you go any further, hold on. Before you go any further with that one, I do have...
Pause and rewind, because you just distorted like a Decepticon fucking a toaster. And now your screen is frozen. And this is the end of the podcast. Okay, there he is. He's back.
Yeah, sorry. I glitched out. So, what I was saying is, you were talking about your moon, how painful that was. Would you say this is your most painful one right here?
No.
Alright, well, come on, out with it, because once you say yours, I'm going to say what...
The most painful one for me was my first tattoo. Which really wasn't that bad, and it's the ugliest tattoo I have as well, so... but sentimentality, it's still great there. It's Colorado Bluebells with my first dog, my Great Dane that I had for 13 years, name over my heart. And you guys can't really see it. But
sorry, I just remember something else.
her name was Dixie. Over the eyes, instead of dots, they're little paw prints. That one hurt the most. And that's because I went to a place called Ouch. It lived up to its name. The guy was incredibly heavy-handed, and as you guys saw, the quality of it was not that great. Like I said, the sentimentality's still there, but everything else, because I've got my Joker piece over here, which I love. Looks great. Didn't hurt anywhere near as bad. So you also need a good artist.
Yeah, you definitely need a good artist, and one thing I would definitely give advice to, hunt around for an artist. Like, learn about an artist before you get the... Don't go to your friend because, oh yeah, I'll do you for, cheap or all that kind of stuff. There's an old saying. Good work isn't cheap, and cheap work isn't good.
Yep.
Plain and simple. And I stand by that. And yeah, you can become friends with your artist, but even if they cut you deals on your work, you make sure you tip them well, and you make sure you show them they're appreciated.
Oh yeah.
Like Freak was saying earlier that I pay Billy with pop vinyl. That's not fully true. It is pretty fucking true. Like I definitely, I know if there's exclusives that I can get that he can't get right away. Hey, do you want this? He's like, oh, fuck yeah. He'll come in and he'll say, hey, don't worry about this, that, or the other. But when he's done, I make sure I tip him extremely well.
Oh, yeah.
So it's respect. That's all it is. It's very big on respect. And of course, if you get a tattoo artist that likes to do what they're doing to you, that just makes it better. Because if they like the work that they're doing, I mean, that makes it easier on you and it makes it easier on them. So
more so in that industry than any other industry that you'll ever make. It's literally a relationship you've got to build.
Yeah.
Lots of trust, and I mean, if I tip the artist shittily next time I go in to get more work done, I know I'm not going to get good work. So, for all you shitty tippers out there, fix your fucking life.
I remember one time when I went to go get it, I think it was one of the sessions on my arm. Can't remember which one, doesn't matter. But I went in and I told Billy, he's like, Bill, hey, I got the price for, the tattoo today. Because I got to put my deposit down already, which he doesn't make me put a deposit down. I still do it anyway out of good faith. I gave the deposit. We went in. I was like, hey, Billy, man, I only got this much for the tattoo and I got this much for your tip. I can't really give you as much as I normally do. It's like, dude, don't worry about it. And like I said, this is where the relationship comes in. The next one I came around, I gave him pops and a bigger tip just to show, like, hey, I still got you. Like, like I said, it's just a respect thing. If you show respect to them, I'm making it sound like they're fucking crazy creatures, but like I said, if you give them respect and you show them what's going on and, you tip them well, they'll treat you well. That's all there is to it. But anywho, back to what I was saying about the painful ones. So you're saying the Dixie on your chest is the most painful?
Yeah, because right when he got, it felt like he was over here, but really he was only right down in this area, and there's a nerve right around there. And like I said, out of all the tattoo artists I've had, this was the most fucking heavy-handed one, and he's just digging on in, and like my leg was shaking, and he's like, stop. And I was like, I fucking can't, dude. I'm sorry.
So for me, so my most painful one, and now I know you can see like the inside of my arm. Inside the arm actually isn't as bad as I was told it was, but then again, I haven't gotten up.
I've heard a lot of bad things about inside of the arm.
Which the funny part is his Pope hat goes right into my armpit. So
then again, I heard bad things about the hand, and that was a breeze.
So far the inside of my arm has not been as bad as I thought it was going to be. That's yet to be determined once, he goes all the way up. My chest. So everything on the outskirts, fine. I sat for hours and hours and hours all on the outskirts. Didn't hurt. I will say this, on some of the leaves,
when they get higher up,
stuff in here, I could have swore he was on my fucking.
That's how I felt with the fucking tips of the Batman logo. I was like, why are you tattooing up here? I did not know.
Yeah, I could have swore he was in my throat doing that. The worst pain I've ever had. So now Chris, who did my whole chest, he waited to do the centerpiece, the eye, for the last session. It was about 5 hours on my sternum. That today is still the worst pain I've ever felt. It was right on my sternum for about 5 hours. And the thing is that Chris was a good artist, but he, just like you were saying, was very heavy-handed. So 5 hours on your sternum, heavy-handed, I was ready to fucking, I don't take breaks when I go to tattoos. I was like, all right, go ahead and do it. And the way I look at it is, if you just block it out and don't think about it, it goes by a lot quicker. The pain kind of just subsides after the 40 minutes. It just kind of like numbs out. This, I felt every bit of it, and I was not happy about it. The worst part to me is, like, I'll go for like an all-day session with Billy. He'll start, we'll take a lunch break, and then he'll start again, and the second session after lunch break is always worse.
Oh, because you start to recover, and you get the reprieve, and then back in!
Yeah, he goes right back in. I'm like, fuck! And then it that takes a little bit longer for him out. Yeah, that's always the worst. But yeah, sternum for me for 4.5, 5 hours with a heavy-handed art. Absolute worst.
Yeah. No, and I mean, there are some people say, like, light-handed artists, their work doesn't take as well. If you're good at what you do, it'll take just as well as somebody who's really digging in. Mm-hmm. And like my arm barely got this done 6 years ago, looks so much better than the one I've got on my chest.
And one other thing I will mention is heavy-handed. And again, you got to watch with line blowout. which you can look them up online. Basically, if they're running lines, all of a sudden they're heavy-handed, really digging in. All of a sudden the ink will run, and it won't be the consistent line that you would need to see. And then on top of that, if it scars over, it won't look right either.
Yep.
That
is the only issue I have about the owl, and it wasn't her fault. It's really mine because plenty of detail in it. Like Doom was saying earlier, you can't really see justice through a camera. But there's one, like, micromillimeter on the wing where it blows out bad, and that's just because I have so much scar tissue built up there, and she did her best to work through it and try to make it as smooth as it is, but you can see where it happens. But that's another thing. If you have scar tissue, expect a very rough, bumpy ride, because it hurts that much worse to get it done over.
And sometimes it's hard for the ink to take as well.
Mm-hmm. And it'll start to fade even worse, and then you'll be dissatisfied. But a lot of artists are great in the fact that they do lifetime guarantees. If their work starts to fade, they'll touch it up for free. Not all, so don't hold me to that, but a lot of them.
Yeah.
But no, I've designed the rest of my body. I've got the rest of my stomach planned, my ribs, my back piece is going to be a fucking nightmare to do.
See, and that's funny you mention that, because for me, I don't plans for my back. You know what? I'm very vain with my tattoos. I see them. I can't see my fucking back. So I'm very vain with them. And the other tattoo that I forgot to mention, and how I fucking forgot to mention this, I should be shot, drawn and quartered, hung, you name it, it should happen. I want to get a portrait of... Shut up. I want a portrait of all my dogs. Right now I've got 2 pit bulls that live at the house with me. Lillian and Dillinger. I had a other pit that was named Brutus. He was actually my first pit. He was the reason why we got the other pits as well. And I have 2 dogs at my dad's house, Pounder and Wheezy. And I am a huge animal lover. I love my pits, all my dogs, as does Freak. And I will eventually get a portrait of all of them tattooed on me. I just haven't decided where. And the thing is, Brutus, my first pit, he's obviously not with us. So I want to figure out something how I can tie it all in together with him being not here.
I wanted to do something animal related too, and I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do it.
Yeah. So I just haven't decided where it's going to go. Oh, and another one I fucking forgot. See, this is a problem with talking about tattoos. You forget about this kind of shit.
I know all mine.
Well, my thing is, I'm so like, I'm a picky bitch. I go back and forth constantly. You can ask about this arm for fucking
it was a samurai sleeve, and now it's a video game village sleeve, and it's going to be a samurai sleeve next time I talk to him, and then it'll be video.
And then there was a space theme one I was talking about doing as well, where aliens were destroying the Earth. I go all over the place. One of the ones that I really want to do is I want to get my shins done. And one of the shins that I want done is, anyone knows the band Carcass, Tools of the Trade, their album art. They have a whole bunch of surgical tools. A whole bunch of surgical tools that they use for an autopsy. And I want all the surgical tools going down my shin, which is not going to feel great at all. I kind of want...
in the slightest.
I kind of want my right leg to be music, just because it already has the Acacia strain going to be going on the back once I finish it up, which Billy said he'll do for me anyway. It's got to get completely tightened up. And, that's pretty much, I think, about it.
I know in terms of leg sleeves, because I want to get 2 full ones done, even though I haven't done. On my left or right leg, it doesn't really matter which one, where I want to get like 3 Greek gods and 3 Egyptian gods fighting each other. And in the background, like I'd probably put the Egyptian gods on the bottom, and around my ankle have the pyramids of Giza. And they're fighting upwards, and like right around the knee would be the divider, and you'd have Olympus and all that. Because I just fucking love mythology. It's so cool. Like, my dog's name is Odin. My other dog's name is Cain and Abel. I had a dog named Zeus. I had a dog named Athena. I love mythology. They're great stories, and it would just be a wicked looking piece. On my other leg, this will be the fun one, because my all-time favorite book series in the history of ever, that's why I went and got these, is The Inheritance Cycle by Christopher Paolini. And you can't really tell. Actually, you kind of can. I've read this book like 49 times. Best book I've ever read. But on the cover of each one, you've got a different dragon, and they're all different colors. And so I wanted to get these 4 different dragons done on my leg, and I'm going to leave it in black and white instead of coloring it in. That way, whenever I have a kid, I can give them some magic markers and just let them color in my leg and fill out. And there goes Doom.
No,
there
I'm
he is. Okay. You froze and then the screen went black on my end. But I'm going to leave that one black and white, like probably really well shaded and detailed so it doesn't look like an incomplete piece of shit. But that way if they want to make, the blue dragon be yellow, they can, and the red one be green. It'll be up to them. But I'm really excited about that one because these are best books I've ever read. Again, if you haven't, go check out Aragon by Christopher Paolini. I own 3 copies of this book. This is my beat up copy that I don't really open anymore because the spine is falling apart because I've read it that much. I've got the collector's edition, and then I have my reading copy.
Damn.
Yeah. And then my back piece is just pretty much about balance of life, yin yang, tranquility. Like in the tramp stamp spot, I'm going to have a Buddha. There's going to be a temple behind it, yin yang made out of koi fish, intertwining Chinese dragons up near my shoulder blade. Just a whole bunch of stuff like that. Around the yin yang, I want another quote from the Aragon books, which is in Elvish. Pretty much, I'm not going to read it because I don't speak Elvish, but it's good fortune, rule in your heart, stars watch over you, and, peace be with you, happiness, and all that shit. And then I want to get the Lord of the Rings quote, one ring to rule them all that good shit. But that'll probably be my armband, and this is just going to be fucking pop culture up here. Might get Sterling Archer and Stewie Griffin and just pop culture on top of my arm.
Really? You know what the sad part is? I never knew that. I always knew the gaming arm. We never talked about it.
This one has changed, and this is the only part that is not locked in. Because this is also where I would like to put music, band logos and everything, because I'm getting lyrics down my rib. But this one, it really depends on what they can do with this space. If they can pretty much put the one ring as the divider, as the armband, a gold band with the Elvish inscription all the way through, this will probably turn into pop culture or whatever I want it to be. If they can't, the plan is to put a Galaxy's Nebula right here, since I've already got the moon and a night owl and everything. And spread that out and turn this into a space sleeve. And in the different constellations have maybe like Stewie's head or a shark and things like that. So it really depends on the artist that I can find and what they're able to do with the space.
I just want to point out that my cat is making it look like my pantry is...
I thought that was just Laura.
No, like, as you can see, there's no one there. That's cat trying to get in there.
Gotcha. Get there.
But yeah, I mean, again, we all say the stuff that we want. Doesn't mean it's actually gonna. I mean, hell, I've been trying to get tattoos done, and like Freak said earlier, life gets in the way. This is just, what we would like to have done, as opposed to what we already do have done. So,
hey, if this is 10 years down the road, though, I want somebody to compare us. I want somebody to just take what we said and whatever we have done in 10 years, be like, no, you guys fucking lied
You're
to us.
You're a fucking liar!
Or be like, holy shit, that's spot on. That's everything they said they were going to get done.
Yeah, watch. And then the fucking, 10 years down the line, it's going to be something completely different than what I said it was going to be.
Yep. But it's just a fun idea and a little roadmap. I mean, in terms of content, it's just going to be content on our bodies. What up, bitches?
Yeah, like I said, hopefully I can see my artist soon get a date stitched in to finish this in, because he said it's probably one more session and then I'm much done. He's gonna connect the back and then right here.
You'll have a
and
full
then the
half.
sleeve. Yep, and then
you gotta do the
told
elbow.
him. Oh yeah, well, I'm not worried about that. I'm not. Honestly, I'm not looking forward to the wrist, but I think I might cut it up above the wrist.
The wrist stings.
But like I said, I'll get to it when like I said, the goal is to have this whole thing from to bottom done by the end of this year. This next time we have this Oddcast for next year, which we will book it, this is going to be done.
The Tattoo Oddcast. But yeah, so that's 2.5 hours that we've talked about nothing.
And we talked and we said it wasn't going to be that long.
No, we were shooting for an hour and we went an hour and a half over the limit. But no, I'm excited. Like I already want to go get another one. I love how this turned out, and you guys can't see in proper detail, but like there's red on the edges, makes it pops that much better. It looks good.
And one thing I'll say: don't pick at it, don't scratch at it, let it heal.
Oh, 100%. I'm picking at because you can see the bandage is popping up down at the bottom, and I'm trying to get that to stay down so it heals right. But yeah, if it ever starts to itch, slap it. Don't scratch it. You'll scab it, you'll make it bleed, and then you just lose a lot of color, and there will be a break in the line, and just don't do it.
Don't go out in the sun. Don't go sunbathing or to a beach directly after. Fucking dumb.
And
oh, sorry. I just remembered one other one I wanted to get. See, this dude, I'm a scatterbrain. I ain't gonna lie. My sister and I went to go see the very first Transformers movie together.
Michael Bay.
And yeah. And
it was a good movie.
Growing up, Transformers was always one of my favorite like TV series, cartoon wise, and all that kind of stuff. So she took me to see Transformers. We went to go see it because it came out, if I'm not mistaken, like right near my birthday. And I regret not doing this when I was able to in Jersey, because my dad was going to sign the waiver to do it, because my dad has tons of work done. That's where I get it from. She was gonna get the Autobot symbol. I was gonna get Decepticons, but I was gonna have it. I don't know if you guys remember the very first movie, but on Interceptor's car, instead of saying to protect and serve, it says to enslave and punish.
Yep.
From on the police car.
Yep.
So I was gonna do that, but I wanted to do it like skeleton on the inside, and it's kind of like a breakthrough with the oil coming out, and you see it on like a metal piece of bone inside the skin with the oil and all that kind of stuff, just because it's like, I thought it was interesting. And this is like when I was like 17, so it probably sounds stupid now, but you know.
No, it still sounds cool. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I want to do with my hands in regards of like design like that, where on my left hand, I want to have it be like, I want to get one of those UV tattoos for at least like one finger, so that it looks like it's bone. And then like maybe this one. Well, I want it to be a transition from bone, and then like maybe the muscular layer, and then just the regular hand. So people would be like, "What's wrong with your hand?" And I'd be like,
Actually, you know what? I just thought about it because it's villain sleeve. I might do.
You might cut out there, but I imagine you were talking about Decepticons.
Yeah, I was saying I might do slave and.
There you go.
Villain sleeve.
I know on my knuckles on this hand, I want to get the different suits of cards, the diamonds, clubs, spades, and hearts. If we hit, fuck it, I'll say it right now. I'll do it. If we hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, I'll get the Gamers of the Roundtable logo tattooed on me somewhere.
Wow! All right, just throwing it out there like that.
Yep, just 10,000. Not even like 1 million or anything. We're almost to 1,000. So
90% more.
But I mean, the majority of the growth has been in the last 2.5 months. So for all I know, I'll be getting this fucking logo done in 6 months or 6 years. And for those of you that don't know what the logo is, it's right down. It's so weird to do.
I'll put it to you this way. I'll even one up it. If you do it, I'll do it, and I'll do it bigger.
There you go. There you guys go. 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. Doom and I get the Gamers of the Roundtable logo tattooed on us.
And I will even fucking vlog that.
Oh, I took videos of him doing this, but unfortunately it wasn't long enough to like... I'll probably do a quick time lapse of it. But also because it's such a weird spot, you mainly just see his hand.
Yeah.
But at 2 hours and 35 minutes, and the fact that we just signed our souls away for 10,000 subscribers...
no more, no less.
Yep. If we hit 10,001, we get them laser removed. You gotta stop at 10,000, guys.
No more growth!
But thank you all so much for watching. Doom, thanks for hanging out and chatting. As always, a pleasure, my friend. Feel free to comment below, guys. New Year's resolutions, Christmas gifts, tattoo ideas, music of the fucking decade. This is the last podcast that you will see before 2020, so...
We want to hear it all, damn it!
We'll see you guys next year.